let's look at the other great team that we've seen many times, and that's Kevin Martin.
Well, he's one of the best. He has been for a long time. He's been around for a long time. And Kevin, the key about Kevin, he can throw that big weight so accurately. Sometimes he rushes to it, I think, a little too much. But the fact is that Kevin Martin is the best in the game.
And it's the big weight weapon we may see again today. Walchuk and Martin. And they know how to peak at this time of year. They won it last time in 2001. What about this year?
My thanks to the people of the HMCS Windsor. All right, fellas, you can open the hatch. When I get back in 6 weeks, it'll be Martin and Morris on TSN.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you by Tim Hortons Limited Canister and Mug.
The 2006 Tim Hortons Briar is now available in all shapes and sizes. Our all-new mini packs give you the option of getting into the party gras spirit whenever your schedule allows.
Tim Hortons Briar, with China party gras.
So, when do you want to get briared?
The first ever Briar, where you want to wear a mask. Hurry, hurry!
Get your tickets now!
Thunder, 120 decibels. Highway traffic, 70 decibels. Highway traffic inside a luxury sedan, 64 decibels. Inside the Ford F-150, 63. We keep thinking about tough because we want you to drive a Ford.
We've changed Cottonelle over the years. Now we're giving it a softer name. Cottonelle is changing its name to Cashmere.
Why is this guy cashing his check at Money Mart? He has a bank account. But it's Sunday, and he wants his money now. So he goes to Money Mart. Millions have for over 20 years. They're open late every day, usually right around the corner. They don't hold checks, and it'll only cost them 3%. So, who uses Money Mart? Could be you.
For centuries, the Strauss family harvested herbs throughout Europe. Practicing herbalists, they've been handing their recipes and processes down through the generations. Seventh-generation herbalist Jim Strauss learned the craft at his grandmother's side, gathering and tasting herbs from the time he could walk. Today, the tradition continues with Jim's son, Peter. The Strauss Herb Company has over 50 unique herbal products, available across Canada and around the world.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you in part by Ford, built for life in Canada. By Strauss Herb Company, makers of the original Strauss Heart Drops, when only the best will do. And by Scott Paper Limited, proud sponsor of curling for 25 years.
On this Wednesday afternoon, we welcome you back to the Metro Center here in Halifax in the Canadian Curling Trials on TSN. The 5 sheets in play for this, the 7th draw of men's competition. They have 3 draws remaining, so some very important games are on the ice, such as this one. Stoughton, Jeff Stoughton against Glenn Howard. Howard trying to stay at 3 losses, 4 may be too many. And then you've got Sean Adams trying to stay there against Pat Ryan, who's played very well out of Kelowna at 4-2. Randy Furby thinks that his chances are all over, but you never know. At 4 losses, Mark Dacey, certainly former Canadian champion, 1-5, would be out of it, as is Jay Peachy. But another surprise, the juniors making that great transition, like Morris, the former world and junior champion, Brad Gushue at 5-1. So they are, John Morris, Kevin Martin, set to do battle. And they're in the middle of it all on Sheet C. It's time to meet the teams now. Brought to you by True Value Hardware. Help is just around the corner. Let's meet this Martin team. Their lead is Don Bartlett, Carter Rycroft, Don Walchuk, and Martin out of the Saville Sports Center in Edmonton. And from the Calgary Winter Club, Paul Moffat, Mark Kennedy, Kevin Cooey, and their skip, 26-year-old John Morris. Morris, playing the Yellowstones, will have the hammer in the first end of play as Martin makes his way out to put the brush down for his lead to get us going here. And of course, that is Don Bartlett.
Well, we were showing you that Don Bartlett has been resting himself. I showed that graphic a moment ago. He has had a little time off. Scott Bailey has come into the lineup to give him a bit of a rest, and that's, of course, from his chronic bad back problem. But he's in today, and I think moving into the weekend, they really want the full team together as they try to make the playoffs and, of course, go on to repeat their victory they had in 2001.
Well, they've been a dominant team for a number of years now. I mean, maybe a little bit in the shadow lately of one of the greatest teams of all time, Randy Ferbey and David Nettowin combination. But when it comes to the money games, the big games, they really are a good unit. Carter Rycroft was a tremendous addition to this team a number of years ago. Kevin lives and sleeps curling. And there really isn't anything that he can't make. This ice is absolutely fantastic. Curlers are raving about it. It's been so consistent all week.
Don wanted to say thank you to Canada Post for their sponsorship of the team, and thank you to him for him personally, allowing him the time off. He's a postal worker in Edmonton. I do want to say, though, I did see him down on Water Street making some deliveries just to stay
in practice.
Of it.
We're not by, though. We're not by.
How was your 6 months in open sea, Vic?
Oh, my, you know, I tell you, you know me too well. That wouldn't be for me. There's not a lot of privacy down there.
There's probably no ironing board.
Oh, no.
No.
Well, actually, it wouldn't be your problem. It would be the problem of the entire crew to put up with you for 6 months.
Although they might, all the pants and shirts would be perfectly ironed.
Yeah, they would be.
Line's good.
Captain, I think there's a crease.
Hard light, room. Line's good. Line's good. Yep. Line's good, room.
Short stone to come around, the angle freeze, all done perfectly.
Line's good. Full bump. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Really impressed with the front end of John Morris, Paul Moffat, and Mark Kennedy. They don't maybe have as much experience as the others, but some of the others in this event. But boy, I tell you, they have been doing nothing but making shot after shot.
Where?
Right down the line, Paul, Mark, Kevin, and John, they're all in the top 3 in their position for shooting percentages. So, and we're now seeing big numbers, as you see, 85% for Carter Rycroft. The numbers are going up. We saw examples of the shot making and Tuesday night action, just incredible shots.
Those high percentages are a compliment to the ice,
They
too.
certainly are.
We know the athletes have the talent, but the ice, Hans Wujcik and a very experienced crew here in Halifax have just put together, the curlers are saying, the best surface they've played on in a long, long time. Most of the ice across the country in our national events is very good, but this is exceptionally good this time around.
Yeah, I like this. What's this?
Kathy Gauthier is with us the entire week. Kathy?
Easy,
Hello. Just a comment to add to what Ray's saying about the ice. There's no question the curlers are really liking the surface. The one thing they noticed this morning, the women did, is that it was a little bit straighter. I spoke to Hans about it. He said -8 outside last night. That's the lowest it's been since we've been here. That meant the building was much colder this morning. That meant a little bit straighter conditions that caught a few players. He's hoping to get caught up in terms of equalizing the temperature as the game goes on, but something these players may get caught on if they're not focusing.
What?
That makes the hits and rolls a little bit tougher. Kevin calling this hit and roll from the outside in, and Ray's talked about it before. You have to be so accurate with this outside in turn.
Interesting little battle here because, I mean, this competition where we've seen people mix and match and you're bringing in fifth players like Russ Howard. But how would you like this?
Either here or here.
Mark Kennedy, who throws the second stone.
It's just hard to keep it second.
His boss, Mark, lives in Edmonton, and he works for Kevin Martin.
What do you think?
At his store, Kevin's Rockin' Rackets. So the employee is playing the boss. And apparently they're all gathered at the store today, and we want to say hello to them. We've got the TV going and invited people in to watch.
Yeah, that's a tricky little one for sure when you're playing the boss.
I could just see that, you know, opening conversation. Good morning, Mark. Did you want to be working next month?
Line's good. Back 8. Line's good. Back 8. Hard. Real hard. Real hard.
Morris, playing the yellow stones, does have the hammer.
Real hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep. Yep.
Three.
Now, did he call for it in?
Yeah, I wanted in. That's a miss.
Yeah, and deep, Vic, behind the tee line, so there was no roll. So that's a miss by about 10 feet of throwing speed.
Now, is that just
you
flat out
jinxed it.
light, or is that something to say about the ice, or is that you just make a mistake?
No, he just threw it short.
Okay.
I don't think the speed, the times have changed much.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You know how accurate this guy is.
Yep.
Donnie Walchuk.
Oh. Jeez, Kevin, going too thin. All right. Great.
A little too thin, but he was pretty close to that top guard. Had to hit it a little thicker.
Want an 8 here, eh? 8 or 7?
I sort of like that. Because if you're going here, he's just going to go that. Let him freeze if you want. Let him freeze it. Okay. He can't get shot by freezing.
Wants it well back. Kevin's probably going to play the straight run back anyway.
Hard line.
Kevin Cooey, may be familiar to you, the name. He's a former Canadian mixed champion. We actually broadcast that event.
We did that.
In Lethbridge back in 2000.
9, 10. Never. Lots of weight. Never. Yep. Oh. Yep. That's good.
That was perfect weight. We did see curl, but boy, was it late. It seemed to cut so close to the center line guard, and then it went completely sideways. So that's the tricky part of the change of the ice. A little bit straighter, but it will go at the very end.
As suggested, Kevin Martin will step up and run this Red Rock right back. If he exchanges the situation, he will be shot.
Yep. Really hard. Hard, all you got.
Run it back, and we'll pick it off. But he'll leave the shooter covering the edge of the 4.
Well, this is a good chance for John Morris to get out of the blocks with it. By scoring a couple, he has the advantage of the hammer, of course.
He's just going to go like that.
Well, we don't want to go here. He's going to freeze. If we go here, it's pretty good.
Well, you know he's going to make that.
Okay.
I think we go around, yeah.
You have to be a little
You don't
careful.
like this, eh?
Hey, top 12's not bad. As long as we're not.
I like that.
There's a tremendous amount of respect
the
between these players. You have to be careful
Fight
that you
the
don't
why not
overcomplicate the situation. Yes, Kevin
Well,
Martin
you gotta
can
be
make
perfect
anything.
here, perfectly here, or he either has a
Kevin
hit
and
roll
Don,
or the
that
freeze.
combination are going to make the
I think
big
he's just got
shots.
more options here. Okay.
John wants to go here. Boys
Copy.
want to go there.
And it's just interesting because, yes, they can make it all. You really have to stick to your plan. I think either shot, you're going to leave Kevin something.
Not heavy. Fine.
You can't take everything away, Linda.
No, absolutely not.
Holy guys.
Whoa.
Looks like a lot.
Whoa. Lots of room. Let it work. Yep.
The finish is late, as Linda's already pointed out.
Hard.
My goodness, look at that go. Wow.
Go. Hard, right out. Good.
Well, you saw Kevin indicate. Hit this. Try and roll over here.
So I guess that was the point I was making, and you said it too, Ray. You couldn't take away anything. The only way Kevin wouldn't have a hit and roll is if you dead buried. It was tough because that guard was so tight. And of course, the main thing you have to remember if you're John Morris is you're going for a deuce. That back one may not count.
Hard, please. Come on. Hard. Hard, gotta go hard. Gotta go hard. Hard. Go, Carter. Go. Hard.
Got it and roll it away.
Try.
Good try is right.
This is the one at the back.
Now I don't mind that.
We mentioned Cooey and his Canadian mixed win. Let's congratulate John Epping of Oakville. He is this year's Canadian mixed champion, a winner over David Hamlin, the former Canadian and world junior champion out of Manitoba. And they won that, I guess, within the last couple of weeks up in Whitehorse, in that beautiful curling club they have there.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. Great facility.
Nose isn't too bad because it's, you'll probably have to, yeah, probably.
Where do you want to roll to here?
I think it'd be nice to roll behind this guard here.
Just been a little frustrating yesterday for Martin, and we'll talk about that next in. And they have to be careful not to let that bother them.
Board up, control. Control, please. Control. Whoa.
John Morris in his first. He has the hammer here in the first.
Right off.
Whoa.
Right off. Okay. Okay, John.
Kevin will try the double. That's all he has.
Curl. Run it back, catch it. Oh, very nice. That'll get you out of some trouble.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how she's got to make.
It was close. It curled up just enough at the end to catch the back one.
Not worth it.
So it will be a blank, and John will try and rebuild something next end.
That Yellowstone too far out to split, do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Too far over, too.
Thank you.
Maybe not for the captain of a submarine. But
Aye, skipper. We blanked the first.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brewer which costs so much to brew and age. Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces the taste, the smoothness, and the drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. Bright, crisp, clean. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Winning's about dedication. It's about a commitment to excellence. It's about passion, and if you don't really care, you just don't win.
Mondetta is a worldwide leader in apparel innovation. Like Canadians in curling, Mondetta understands its game. Canada's top curlers are making Mondetta their gear of choice.
Strauss Herb Company, because there are options.
Please join me at the 2006 Men's World Curling Championship at the Songus Arena in beautiful Lowell, Massachusetts, April 1st through 9th. Besides watching the best curler in the world compete, there's a lot to do in Lowell. And Boston is only 30 minutes away. Tickets and hotel packages are available now. Call 888-WCC-2006 or visit us online. The 2006 World Men's Curling Championship, sweeping the world while brushing with history.
Hurry! 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 Come on, hurry hard! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Hurry! They're here!
Let's give Tyler's mom her gift.
I can do it! Come on, buddy, let's go! My mom says I say thanks.
For those who are always there for you, why not give a Tim Hortons canister, including 5 packets of their favorite coffee for only $10.49 plus tax. Or the mug, only $6.95 plus tax with 1 packet.
TSN HD, redefining the image of sport. TSN HD is proudly presented by JVC. JVC, the HD technology leader.
Well, it's time to read the ice now with Ray, and as you mentioned, there are no complaints, are there?
No, there sure isn't. It's been so consistent. Kathy mentioned in the first end that it's a little straighter than it has been. The thing to watch for is in the house area here. It's really lively, and rocks will roll. We saw that in the first end. They'll go across the rinks very quickly, so rolls will be a little more difficult. You're going to have to brush properly. We know for a fact that it runs very, very straight, especially from the outside in with weight. But boy, has it been a great surface.
And absolutely no frost, and there was a slight dusting of snow, but certainly not what they had forecast overnight. As we welcome you back to Halifax, the Metro Center, on this Wednesday afternoon, and the 7th draw of men's play after the blank in the first. John Morris, playing the Yellowstones, once again has the hammer.
Now, I liked the roll on the reading the ice. That was new.
Well, you try some new things. Some work and some don't, you know.
Well, all right. Line's
Very
good.
It was just that his hand was
Hi,
shaky.
Ryan. Line's good. Room. Lot of room. Plenty of room. Well, plenty of room.
But what does that mean, Ray? I mean, if you've got a lively house, does that allow you to play a shot a different way?
Okay.
Well, not really, but you really do have to be a little more protective with the brushing, because you can make that huge difference. We know you can hold a stone up, and the fact is that with the house being so lively, you have to rethink about how much of this stone do I need to get that roll. Where it's a little flatter, and you would see lots of flat houses, you have to hit less of the stone to get the same amount of roll.
Off!
It would be a lot like that periscope, you know, you just
It's
got to
up
get,
and down,
you know, it's wavy up there, you have to go a little further.
Well, Ray mentioned it's running a little straighter. Let's find out if the times are different. The ice times are brought to you by Ford, built for life in Canada.
Victor, about the same, but we're expecting the rock to slide a little bit. As Ray mentioned, the houses being a little more lively, they probably won't grab as fast. Draw between the hog lines, 14.5 seconds. And I'm putting Peel at 7 seconds, but so far we've seen them down at 6. So we'll see if we see some of the very fast ones today.
Whoa. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Whoa.
Let's begin our updates with a key game between Jeff Stoughton and Glenn Howard. Glenn Howard at 3-3 out of the Coldwater and District Curling Club in Ontario. Jeff Stoughton 4-2. Charleswood in Winnipeg. And this is a hit for 2 for Howard in the first. And he's got it. 2-0. Howard Stout with the hammer in 2.
It's top 8.
Same speed, though. Okay.
Well, Jeff Stoughton's team last night from Winnipeg curled so well, but as we showed you in the opening, few shots, a couple shots by Mark Nichols just turned that game right around.
Whoa.
Tremendous curling game.
6. Right off. Right off.
Big shot by Brad Gushu in the 9th end, setting up that 4. And after a great hit and roll.
Right off.
It's always interesting to see the day after that kind of performance, how Gushu will do, because that must have been an incredible high to be making those shots. Can they sort of come back to life after having that high last night? And of course, the Stoughton team, is there any frustration involved with losing a game when you play so well? Now, I talked about frustration, and also the Martin team showed a little bit in Tuesday action. They, in the morning, had to make an angle raise takeout against Jay Peachy to win. If they missed, it was a loss. That wasn't just to avoid the extra end.
Heavy hack. Yeah.
And, of course, lost to Glenn Howard. And they seemed to be a little on edge yesterday, and that's not a good thing at this time of the week.
Out again.
2 Canadian champions. Randy Ferbey at 2 and 4. 4, even he thinks may be too many. Past history has told us that. Mark Dacey is certainly out of it, the 2004 Canadian champion, and the Dacey team with the hammer. And you see that Redstone Ferbey is the shot stone, and he's just trying to maybe chip over his yellow and enough, but he'll run it back too far. So it's a steal of 1 for Ferbey.
5. Room. 5. Room. Hard.
Boy, they close fast. You see that break?
Coming out the other side.
One of the things about the Randy Ferbey team I'd like to say is that, you know, they were a classy team when they were winning, and they won a lot, and will continue to win more. And they're a very classy team when they lose. They've just had a chance to sit with Marcel and Randy this morning and have a little chat. And I'll tell you, they you know what? The one neat thing that Marcel, he says, you know, Ray, anybody that's a curler knows. I mean, people say, what happened? What happened? What happened? We were a little flat, an inch here, an inch there. And if you're a curler, you understand that. Sure, it's disappointing. You think they're not disappointed? Of course they are. But they're a classy team, and they're maybe arguably the best team ever to play this game.
Sit down. That's good. Very nice.
Those run backs are automatic, aren't they, Linda?
They sure look at when Walchuk throws them.
Player. Good shot, Wally.
That was why John Morris tried to draw that rock in as deep as possible. We talk about not going too deep too soon, but when you try to avoid run backs, you're going to ask Kevin and the rest of your team, if you're John Morris, to bring them a little deeper around opposition guards to avoid those run backs.
Lots of weight.
Well, the same thing I
Watch it,
saw
Jim.
Scott Bailey, Ray, and he's here as a 5th player for Kevin Martin. He said, you know what just happens? Go back to the trials in '97, the one that Mike Harris won. And Madon, the team, were going in there as one of the favorites. They wound up 2 and 7. Happens.
Some nice comments in the Globe by Jeff Stout, who kind of, you know, said the right kind of things. That, you know, it goes that way about Ferbey and Meadow.
Down normal. Clean. Whoa. Oh.
One of the things I can tell you just quickly is that the leaders in this event right now do not want to let that team back in. No.
Well, especially someone like John Morris, who's had a heck of a time beating Ferbey over the years. He's saying, you know, I'm sorry, I really like them, but I'm not too sad to see him at the bottom of the standing.
No, you can't blame John.
No.
He's taken some punishment from David and Randy.
Well, and that was their loss so far. It's second round of action. Morris lost to Randy Ferbey. And since then, he's just been on a tear.
You get the feeling, Vic, that this is kind of one of those little cat and mouse games going on here now, both waiting to pounce on each other. John's got the advantage of last rock, and
Nice double by Kevin Martin, saved him a point last stand. And then you heard Don Bartlett say, you know, those are the kind of shots he's so good at, he's got to make.
Right on the nose. Take too much ice here.
I don't think it's in, so it gives John Morris a chance to go behind the guard.
I think this will go, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you were mentioning his record, Linda, John's.
That was the loss. A very close game to Randy Ferbey in his second round, and then wins against Ryan, Peachy, Dacey, and Adams. Still has a couple of real toughies after this. Howard and
I think
Gush.
it'll definitely finish, so.
Wow. Not an easy stretch, is it?
If you have to, Kennedy, you go early.
It was interesting that John didn't want to play the come around while there was another Martin Stone on the other side, because it's a Martin guard, and he didn't want him to make the run back and leave in a position where he couldn't blank, especially that early in the end, get caught it. He's going to try it now on Skip Stones.
Off, nothing.
Right off.
Nothing, Mark.
And here it's trying to creep out the other side. It looks like some curl is coming back,
Look
Vic.
at that. All right, let's show you how Kevin Martin has gotten to this point.
That came out the other side, didn't it?
Well, it is losses to Ryan, and I mentioned yesterday the big shot against Peachy for a win, and then the loss to Glenn Howard. Still has Gushu and Stoughton left.
So again, we point out, and the thing to remember of these trials, unlike the national championships, this is not a page playoff. Only 3 teams make the playoffs. So 4 losses is dicey. Long shot at best, but those teams at 4 still have a slight hope that they're going to need help.
Oh, we lit again.
Well, it may have been a little bit straighter this morning, but the curl's back in, and the late finish is there.
And if they scouted the morning draw as we had and saw that, that would have caught them a little bit, because now rather than cutting the guard close, if it's a little bit longer guard, you're going to have to get by more space so that when it's coming into the house, it doesn't come out the other side. So they'll make that little adjustment, I'm sure.
And through it goes. And for a second straight end, we have a blank. Here in this 7th draw of men's play at the Canadian Curling Trials.
Purex Ultra, our thickest, softest Purex ever.
The Strauss Herb Company has sold over 1 million bottles of the original Strauss Heart Drops. And take it from me, Randy Ferbey, it's not because Heart Drops taste great. Take the taste test yourself. Strauss Heart Drops, available at your local health food retailer.
At True Value, we encourage kids to throw rocks at houses, and we even like to give them a little help. We're proud to be the official hardware supplier to curling's Season of Champions. Just like we're proud of our Master Mechanic tools, all hand tools have a lifetime guarantee on workmanship and material. Master Mechanic, your purchase of a lifetime. True Value, around the corner from your house.
Back pain. It can affect more than your back. Robax Platinum, a special combination of 2 active ingredients, one to relieve back pain, the other to relax tense back muscles. Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Y&M? A coworker recommended it. All right, people, we have a problem. It's 4 o'clock and I still have no idea what I'm making for dinner. I need answers. Sally? Tim? Anybody?
M&M has tons of ideas, complete meals. I have fewer meetings at work now.
Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover, AMJ Campbell has been moving households and offices locally and internationally since 1934. As the official mover of Canada's Olympic teams, AMJ Campbell is dedicated to exceptional personalized service. Our Olympic teams trust us with their valuables, so can you. As the most trusted movers in Canada, AMJ Campbell is your source for your home, your office, or do-it-yourself move. Call AMJ Campbell.
TSN HD, redefining the image of sport. TSN HD is proudly presented by JVC. JVC, the HD technology leader.
Ooh, a big difference.
Let's update the game between Jay Peachy and Brad Gushue. Peachy, who's still looking for his first win, scored 2 at the hammer the first. Brad Gushue, coming off that marvelous game last night, sits at 5-1, tied for the lead with John Morris out of the St. John's Curling Club, Newfoundland, Labrador. And he draws for a couple to tie it 2-2. On sheet B, it's Sean Adams from the Mayflower here in Halifax at 2-4. Pat Ryan at 4-2 out of Kelowna. Ryan with the hammer scored 2 in the first, and this is Adams with his 4 losses looking to stay there and keep his hopes alive. Adams the runner-up in last year's Brier. And he'll spin too far. Steal of 1, 3-0. Ryan. The Metro Center in Halifax, our home all week for these Canadian curling trials. Still looking for our first point. Morris Yellowstones with the hammer.
Whoa. Whoa. Hey, close. Whoa, we're close. Board. Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Up. Modern.
Don Bartlett.
Shot, Don.
You made to mention, Linda, that he did miss a game earlier in the week. Scott Bailey took over. He has been battling a bad back.
He sure is consistent, and Don Bartlett has 2 great strengths. One is terrific judge of brushing, and the other is working with Kevin. He's a real key to how Kevin thinks out there, brings in some input when needed. So I know he wants to be there for the rest of the week.
Normal. Hurry. Real hard. Clean. 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 Just clean.
Paul Moffat.
Hurry. Yep. Hurry. Yep. Kev.
Stoughton and Howard after Glenn Howard scored 2 in the first with the hammer, and this is the final stone for Jeff Stoughton of the Charleswood in Winnipeg.
Maybe a little big.
Well, this is kind of a very bad break for Glenn Howard, because you can see the 2 red rocks in place there, and he had just made a double, Linda, to get rid of those, and Jeff would have had to draw against 4, but it was a hog line violation. The red light went off, and he took the stone off, giving Jeff Stoughton a draw for 3. Of course, no fault of Jeff's at all, but
this is real nice.
Bad break for Glenn Howard. And that's unusual for Glenn. He isn't usually...
Yeah, he doesn't usually crowd the line like that, but obviously no question that wasn't a malfunction. He actually did slide over the line. The rock comes off, and that was a draw for 3. Now, Vic, you asked me a question the other day, and it was such a good question, I wanted to bring it back. You asked why players don't put a second guard up. So,
well,
for example,
I told you to say that. That's why I'm wondering here.
Yeah, so Martin put up a guard. Right. Martin is so good at run backs. You may, if you're Morris, consider putting a tight guard on your lead's first rock rather than coming immediately around it. Now, in this case, the red stone is rather long, but if it was a little bit tighter, that may be a tactic you might think of. Put a little guard out in front. Yes, Kevin can come in first, but you've got lots of time to then maneuver stones and possibly use your tight guard later in the end.
And Kathy, you wanted to add something?
Well, it's interesting because before the game I talked to John Morris about playing Kevin Martin and his thoughts, and he said to me that the last time he played Kevin was in the Grand Slam event in Nova Scotia about a month ago, and he was one up coming home without. He said, Kath, I had 4 on the 4-foot buried. Kevin made a run back quad, the best shot I've ever seen, and I think he's just maybe a little gun shy.
But that's my example there. If you know they're good at run backs, Vic, you wait longer, you set up your own guards, and you try and get around them. Because if the run back's made in that case, if it's your own guard, they have to make the double and won't leave something in behind cover. John knows these weapons. We all know the weapons of Kevin Martin and his team, and that's certainly something you have to take into account when you plan out your game.
Back up, real hard.
Mark
Back
Kennedy.
up, real hard. Hard pull, hard. Hard. Hard.
Got to the line early.
And they won't get it by that guard.
Plenty of weight.
Yeah, he just got that started. He's very low in his delivery. He just got it inside the line.
Don Walchuk as we play here in the third end. Still no score. John Morris.
Yeah. Line's pretty
playing
good.
the Yellowstones with the hammer.
Line's a little tight.
Gotta go. How's the line, Don?
Go. Line's
Go,
pretty
curl.
good.
Gotta curl.
Line's a little tight.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Line's a little tight. Good shot. Nice shot. Peach.
And I guess that's the thing we also talk about. We know Don Walchuk, for example, makes those big run backs. There is the perfect guard.
Heel.
Have to be able to make them both.
Hard.
And they stuffed it, but he left a corner showing.
Well,
We're here.
Also the point that Linda was making. Those are your
He's gonna
guards
go
out there. It
around.
makes a difference.
Or double peel. What do you think? Go round or guard? The only problem with this is you probably make the run back. What do you think? You like this or you like guarding? Okay.
All right, one toward the other. Which one do you like, Linda? Guard or going around?
Well, I guess at this stage I'd come around. It's interesting. It does depend, of course, how long in the end we are. And because we're on Don's last, I would come right in.
Ray?
Line's good. Plenty weight. Okay.
Well, quite frankly, I think I might place spread the rocks out a little bit to force John to take a single.
Okay.
I think he's going to play this come around, this run back for sure.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's not too bad.
It's not bad, actually. Yeah.
Well, just a reminder, the Tim Hortons Briar from Regina.
Yeah.
And you can see it on TSN. The Canadian Men's Curling Championship begins March the 11th.
75, 80.
Well, Don's rock needed to be high in the house to prevent this from happening, and that's trying to get into the button first.
Well, because it's back, they're going to play the cover. I think if he made the good shot, they would have played the run back.
Line's good. Weight's good. Line's good. Clean up. Get up. 7. 7. Back up. Weight. Back 4. Hard line. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, John.
Great shot. Little deep.
Now it's so interesting when we saw the broom go down. The first draw today, we saw them taking just 3 feet of ice maybe to make this same shot. Now, Ray, they've taken that broom right back out into the 12-foot.
A little bit of speed.
That's what you were talking about.
Numbers are right back to where they were the previous draws this morning. It was a little bit straighter.
Now, a few more people in here than the morning draw. Would that have an effect?
Yeah, for sure, Rick. A little warmer in here today. Colder outside, but with the bigger crowd.
Should be right there. Gotta be a little light.
Yep.
Line's good.
Room.
Go if you can. Line's good. Freeze it. Oh. Yep. Go ahead. It'll curl. It'll curl. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, guys. Go, 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 go. Every inch,
Take
every
it
inch.
right back if they can. They'll leave it fully.
A little bit of a judging error. They brushed it most of the way, but dropped off for a moment. And we saw the time just a little bit slow at the hog line.
I think you want to get it over those.
Let's, like, I agree not to be here. Right?
All I'm saying is if he puts it here, you're going to have to come wide. So
That's
if you're
fine.
blocking that, like the guard's blocking that off.
Okay, but
I know, don't get cute with it. I think we're going to go.
Playing the long guard.
Okay.
Morris getting ready to throw his first.
How deep do you want
I understand
to?
why you're playing the guard, but
finish it like
do you not help yourself at all by going in with the other turn and trying to get in there as well? Get your second one in there now.
He would leave Kevin the run back of his own. Don't just throw him. He could quiet tap back or run back.
Okay.
But there's a danger with this. There's a danger with this guard because if Kevin blocks the other side, how are you going to get your second point?
Hard, keep it there.
2-3.
Hard.
2-3. Just clean.
Hard.
Whoa, guys. It doesn't have to curl. 2-3. Doesn't have to curl.
Line's good. Line's good.
No. No. Hard to keep it out there, eh? Let's wait, Johnny.
If this shot is anywhere near the button area,
John will have no shot.
he will not have an opportunity to get two.
And that's all Kevin Martin really wants at this end, is to hold Morris to 1. And the pressure flips over a little bit.
A lot of room.
Room. Whoa. No line. No line. Whoa there. Whoa. Whoa. Oh.
Carter Rycroft is on the left, Don Bartlett on the right, and here they go.
Go, come on, come on.
Waiting for the big break.
Go, 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 it's really good.
And here it comes, as if it's coming downhill.
I think so.
Let's go there.
Well, they got caught twice, really, on Kevin's rocks. The first one could have been brought near the face of the yellow, and that one they wanted in more as well.
Needs a piece of the 4. Any little bit of the red will give him a deuce.
It's got lots of room. This is strictly judgment by this front end. Ball and mark. That's a touch.
I like that.
The 4-foot.
Yeah, I think
Look where that brush
a
is.
good 70. You know, like yeah.
It's a solid
you
4
can't keep
feet
her
of
out there
curl.
because you know it'll finish, right?
Yeah.
Means placing of those guards, then, Linda, is very important, isn't it?
Yes, longer ones really won't make a difference, Vic. You got to bring them tight.
Final stone, looking for our first points.
Looks heavy.
Got a curl.
Here in the third.
Good. Oh, it's heavy.
Still got a curl.
Whoa.
Get a
Kennedy is
T-line.
on the
It's
left.
got a
Moffat
curl.
on the right. 4-foot. Has to curl.
Curl. Okay, John.
And will not.
Nice wait, bud. It's all right.
So we have our first point. Morris gets a single when he could have had a couple.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Icy Hot, dual action hard-working pain relief for joints and muscles.
Hello again from the Sports Center newsroom. I'm Rod Smith. We'll get you back for more curling in Halifax in a moment here on TSN. Here's a look ahead to Sports Center. Back on at 6:30 Eastern Time later today. Light night in the NHL. 5 games. The lone Canadian team in action, the Calgary Flames in New Jersey to face the Devils. Watch it live on the NHL on TSN starting at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific Time. Meanwhile, baseball's winter meetings continue in Dallas. The Florida Marlins have traded center fielder Juan Pierre to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for 3 young pitchers, including Sergio Mitre. The deal will go through pending physicals. And speaking of the winter meetings, quieter for the Blue Jays after all that activity yesterday. Well, Claude Fake will have the latest from Dallas, however, in the early edition of Sports Center. For now, more from the Canadian curling trials here on TSN.
Remember when you had to travel to find yourself? You had to stand at the edge to feel alive. Dreams were something you chased after. Nothing's changed. And yet, everything's changed. The newly designed Ford Explorer. The adventure never ends.
All the way from the craftsmanship to the perfect pour. All the way from its introduction to becoming the #1 light beer in the world. All the way from an exacting brewing process to the easy drinking taste. All the way from the line to inside the club. All the way from the brewmaster to the bartender. When it goes down this smooth, make it a Bud Light. Smooth all the way.
They're here! Let's give Tyler's mom her gift. I can do it! Come on, buddy, let's go! My mom says I say thanks.
For those who are always there for you, why not give a Tim Hortons canister, including 5 packets of their favorite coffee for only $10.49 plus tax. Or the mug, only $6.95 plus tax with 1 packet.
Technology has made your morning easier. Why not your shave? The new Philips Smart Touch XL is designed to shave more with every touch, with 3 shaving rings, not 1. And because now it pivots to stay on your face and neck, even tricky hairs are cut. Make every stroke count.
Sherry Maddaw. Stephanie Lawton. That's our key matchup when we join you again, and make a note of the time, please. This evening at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, following the NHL on TSN. It'll be the 8th draw of women's play. The ladies were back on the ice this morning for draw 7. Colleen Jones keeps herself alive at 4 losses, brings Jennifer Jones from Winnipeg back. Shannon Kleibrink hanging in there at 3 after a win over Maddaw, handing her 3rd. Sherry Anderson, Betker still alive. Marie-France LaRouche with Carol Gagnon throwing the last stone, gave up a 5 as Lawton wins to go 6-1. Kelly Scott wins. She's now 6-1 as well. Sherry Maddaw is our key game tonight, and after her loss, she spoke with Kathy.
Sherry, a tough extra in loss this morning to Shannon Kleibrink. Thoughts on how your team is performing so far this week?
Well, I think we're performing pretty good. The ice is changing slightly. It's a little bit straighter, and I'm getting caught on it. I really enjoyed the ice the first few days. We had lots of break and lots of swing, so I think I'm just going to have to adjust to the ice. And now at 3 losses, we're unfortunately we have to win our next 2 games, and we play against some tight teams, but it's in our hands. So we're just going to have to sharpen up and make the points and make the shots and win the games.
Tough game against a very young team tonight in Stephanie Lawton. Thoughts on how you'll approach that game?
Well, they're more of a defensive team. I think we just need to stay to our game plan, which we're a fairly aggressive team, and we've got great draw weight. It's been consistent that way all week. So I think we just have to go in with an aggressive attitude and make them make the shots.
Good luck tonight.
Great. Thanks, Kathy.
And a reminder, the game time is 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, following the NHL on TSN. But unlike the men's
This one's
play,
not in the house.
it's not as bunched with Scott and Lawton 2 games clear. Should they finish that way, tied, Lawton would be given first place by virtue of her win over Scott in round robin. There, a 4 losses might get you into a tiebreak. As we go to the 4th, and for the first time in the game, Kevin Martin, playing the Redstones, has the hammer. It's Morris up 1-0.
Good. Whoa, whoa. Shot on. What was he trying to do? Oh. Okay.
Well, we showed you Jeff Stoughton getting his 3 after the hog line violation. There you saw the green lights come on. That's throw by Glenn Howard, so that's a good one.
Control. Whoa! Whoa!
Howard trying to avoid a 4th loss and bring Stoughton back to the bunch.
Clean. Clean.
A shot
Clean.
makes the hit against 3 for his single. They're tied 3-3.
Shot.
This is quite an interesting start to this end. And Ray, you alluded to it earlier, a cat and mouse game about the positioning of stones. We saw the fairly typical first stone in corner guard. The corner guard went so wide, it's really almost not in play because of the curl in the ice. Then coming back to the middle, and now Kevin's trying to get little hits and rolls, so he sets up a better corner guard. But neither team looks willing to set up with high risk. There's not a lot of rocks in play.
Well, there's no question that everybody worries about that area just in front of the rings. And the corner guard situation now sits a little better for Kevin because there's such late finish. You can certainly, if you get the opportunity, you can certainly get one buried behind that short corner guard. As you mentioned, the long one was so far over, it really wasn't a factor, but now it is. You can see John doesn't like it there, so he's decided to play it and try to roll into the rings. John Morse I think just drew a little too much weight in his last one. Had they thrown it to the sweepers, I think he would have got some late movement and caught that 4-foot.
Hard! Hard! I got it.
And the left-hander will sit edge of the 8-foot. Sean Adams, one of those teams trying to remain at 4 losses, playing Pat Ryan out of Kelowna. Final stone for the team from the Mayflower here in Halifax. Ryan out of, as we say, Kelowna. And that's a draw against
all you got, all you got.
1-2.
All you got.
Oh, this will slide a little too far.
Try.
Ryan will steal one. 4-0 he leads.
A great attempt to get right over. They would like to have gotten it over another foot. And it would have been very difficult for
Control up. Hurry.
John to get out of there.
Hurry. Hurry.
Kevin Cooey.
Real hard. Hard. Real hard. Hard.
Like to roll away from here if he can.
Okay.
Oh,
no
sit
such
right
luck.
There.
Very close.
You can see the ice for the inside-out shot. It takes about 6 to 8 inches of ice. If you're playing the outside, there it is there. If you're playing the outside-in shot on that, you'd be taking right on the edge of the stone.
It is still interesting, though, they're trying to generate points with hits and rolls because we've seen relatively complicated game plans from both of these skips.
It's good.
So far, first game was a little complicated, but since then, it really has been more by the hit and roll game.
Whoa.
Going towards the middle. Should have curled nice there.
Same weight.
Okay.
You wouldn't think he'd be giving Brad Gushue a battle, but Jay Peachy, despite the record, has been pretty close. We saw it earlier today. Marie-France LaRouche still winless, and except for a 5 that was given up late, she gave Stephanie Lawton all she could handle. This is Peachy against Gushue, 5-1, tied 2-2. And Peachy with the draw against 2 around the 8-foot, puts it on the edge of the button for the single 3-2 lead.
Forward. Yep.
Linda, how much of this is strategy? A game plan by Morris or Martin, or is it just that it's not setting up for them to score the points?
As we watch that one spin back in, it's definitely a game plan in my opinion. There's been opportunities, Vic, and they've just not decided to play the quiet shots. They've been trying to do it with the hits, which is much lower risk. If you get into trouble, you can get out of it faster. You can also blank ends if the deuce isn't setting up.
Watch now, it looks like it's going to roll right out. And watch, it just doesn't quite hit it and spins right back into the rings.
All right, how tough a shot is this out here?
Always tough because you don't throw a lot of them and the ice has not been used out here, but it should run straight down there. It looked like it was clearly going out.
Normal up. Whoa. Oh.
That's the rub of the green.
Wow. Whoa. Hey.
Could float away. Could float
Watch
away.
the divider.
No, nice shot.
Just
very nice.
Yeah.
You know, Vic, to follow up, we were talking about what's unusual about the Morris Martin games so far with blank ends is these are two of the best teams at getting ends with the hammer, 2 or more points with the hammer, and also forcing singles. Now, it's that first line. 55% of the time, John Morris has been able to get a deuce with the hammer. 50% is incredible. He's over that. And an incredible 56% of the time, John Morris has kept the opponent from doing the same. So he's good at scoring and also good at limiting scoring, and that's why he's one of the best so far.
And he had an opportunity the last end to get to 2, and then also had the very first end, Kevin Martin made a great double to avoid a 2. So that's why he likes to hold that hammer. Well, why they all like to hold the hammer.
Lots of room. 12 only. Line's good. Top 12.
Now the guard is high, so you really have to get this almost perfect to avoid.
T plus, Don.
No, line's real good.
Whoa. Whoa, just to the tee.
Yep.
Just to the tee. Whoa, it's buried. Whoa. Good shot. Hit. 52, 53.
John's just going to draw down on top of it.
Out here.
Yeah, it looks
That's
like
a very nice shot by Kevin.
Straighter. Still looking about 80 here, I think.
Now, go back to my first comment. I said the guard was so far over they may not be able to use it. Because the teams have been playing open, it is the only guard in play, and so they had to use it, and that's quite the draw to get buried that far over in the ice.
Even though the guard is that far in front.
Now, if you had to, I still believe you could maybe tap that out because of the length of the guard, but John feels the better chance here is to play the freeze.
7-8.
Final stone for Morris here in the fourth. 1-0, he leads.
Stay close.
This could break.
No, just for weight. 8.
He doesn't want to bounce.
Yep. Whoa.
Shot, John.
Wow.
That is a great shot.
Wow.
We're being treated to a great performance by both teams to this point, so that forces Kevin Martin to do the one thing he did not want to have to do in this end. He wouldn't have mind blanking, but now he has to draw for the single.
So we're seeing the ability of John Morris to prevent the deuce. That's what we're just talking about, limiting the opponent. Sometimes it's easier. That was a tough little shot to force Kevin to draw for the single point.
His father, Earl, of course, coaches his team, and this is there's been a nice calming effect, change in John's approach to the game.
Nice fly.
We saw him at the Briar, and he was pretty tight a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's youth, isn't it? Those are the things you learn. Great draw by Kevin.
He'll pick up his single point as he puts at the edge of the 4-foot, and so through 4, we're even at 1 apiece. Let's meet the two teams. The leads are Don Bartlett and Paul Moffat. The seconds are Carter Rycroft and Mark Kennedy. Throwing the third stones, Don Walchuk and Kevin Cooey. And the skip from the Saville Sports Center in Edmonton, Kevin Martin. And from the Calgary Winter Club, John Morris.
Towels is changing its name to Sponge Towels. Why would they do that? Sponge Towels. That's a good idea.
Scott Towels is changing its name to Sponge Towels. Now with powerful little sponge pockets.
Never stop enjoying life. Strauss Herb Company products. Available at health product retailers across Canada.
Painting is a lot of work, but it can really be rewarding. It really helps to be a true value paint expert. With 900 colors and color made simple, we've made it even easier to get the right shade. So come on in and see what's shaking.
True value. Help is just around the corner.
Why M&M? Well, they're just so helpful.
Yeah.
You know, unlike some places.
Excuse me, can you help me?
I have to go ask someone.
At M&M, they suggest things. They're not afraid to help.
Well, they're just not afraid.
Rémi Bouchard, Esquire.
Rebecca DeLeo, Esquire.
Hugo Provencher, Esquire.
Trish Furrow, Esquire.
Michael Pinball Clements, Esquire.
Esquire watches. Innovative Swiss engineering and design crafted in solid stainless steel cases. The Centurion chronograph features a textured dial and signature detailing. Esquire, this is your time.
TSN HD, redefining the image of sport. TSN HD is proudly presented by JVC. JVC, the HD technology leader.
Lots of updates for you now. Let's start with Peachy and Gushu. Jay Peachy, the Golden Ears Club in Maple Ridge, BC. Brad Gushu, St. John's Curling Club, Newfoundland and Labrador. At 5-1, trying to remain tied for first place with John Morris, who's in our featured game, of course, against Kevin Martin. And it's 3-2 as he throws his last. He draws the back of the forefoot for a couple. And Gushu has the lead now, 4-3 over Peachy. Right next door, Randy Furby sitting at 4 losses, trying to stay there. A fifth is definitely too much. Mark Dacey, Canadian champion, trying to play spoiler. He's from the Mayflower. Look what David Nedowin was facing. 5 yellow stones as he draws with his last one. Scott Piper on the left, Marcel Rock on the right. Randy Furby calling the line. They've got to come through the hole. Now the brush, trying to get it by that stone. Top 12, there's the little rub. Now it has to sit and sit in a hurry. And it will go too far. Count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steal of 4. Dacey is up 6-1. And now we want to go live to the game between Howard and Stoughton. And you can see as Stoughton plays his red stones, he is facing at least 1, 2. And looks like that red stone is third at the back. And this is Jeff Stoughton sitting with a record of 4-2. Glenn Howard at 3-3. And they are tied 3-all in the fourth.
I think with this draw, he's maybe just trying to hold this thing to 1, Vic.
Hard, guys. T-line, guys. Just T-line.
Just trying to hold this to 1. He'll give away a point here.
And that's what he'll do. T-line edge of the 4. Steal of 1 for Howard out of the Coldwater and District Curling Club near Orillia, Ontario. and he'll take the lead 4-3.
That one you were full.
Cool.
That one you were full. Just to the end.
We gotta make sure. I gotta cut the ice down a ton for those shots.
As we welcome you back to the Metro Center here in Halifax on this Wednesday afternoon, our featured game, Kevin Martin at 4-2, John Morris 5-1. We're tied 1-1, and John Morris, playing the Yellowstones, has the hammer in the fifth.
On your way. Okay, well then.
All the play around the center guard again.
Line's
this
real
end.
good.
2 are
Clean.
in and 2 are out front.
We're all there. Okay, well then.
Trying to play the wide come around on this one.
Blotted. Yep, T plus. Whoa, whoa. Just to the T. Hard. Right. Nice shot, Carter. Nice shot.
Well, you know that yellow one in the 8-foot is not
Yeah, I like
safe
that.
with those red rock being out in front.
Okay.
Or either one of the 2 rocks being out in front. So John Morris is going to freeze to the face of the stone, sitting on the button. Morris with the hammer, having forced Kevin Martin to take the single.
Hard early.
Well, that comes back to the difficulty of playing the come around on the opponent's guard, because as soon as you do that and Kevin locks one on it, you're really back to that come around game around the button area. These angles have to be made well.
Oh, oh.
Very nice.
Good.
Another freeze called for here.
It's always interesting knowing how well these players throw the big weight as to when somebody makes a move to play the taps or even the hits to rearrange the stones. In the moment, there's just a series of angle draws.
Gotta go wait.
We know that Kevin loves lots of rocks in play. He
Hard line. Gotta buy the red one.
loves them when they're bunched.
Go, go, go. Hard, hard.
Ooh.
Mark.
And one other score to update for you. You can see how Pat Ryan has scored 2 stolen singles, and then Sean Adams on the board finally with the hammer. It is 4-1,
I don't think we
and
want to do
Ryan
that. I
has
think we want to do
the
this.
last rock in
Right on
5.
the nose. Catch this one, spill that.
Sean Adams had a chance to get a deuce in that end, but
You know what I mean?
just missed his draw.
Just right on the nose. Even a little low side.
This is what I was talking about. When do you make the move to rearrange the stones, run backs for hits? And which ones do you try and rearrange? So the discussion was on which rock to hit. And John decided he wants to hit the red guard back into the pack.
Heel. Whoa. Yeah.
There's not a rock out of play to this point. Well, now there is 3 of them. But why at this point? It's just did they both of them say, let's play?
Why are they playing the draws?
Well, yeah, and suddenly we were so open for 4 ends.
Yeah, you're right, Vic. It was a bit of a surprise. There's definitely an indication that now John in particular wants to get his deuce, and Kevin is willing to go along with it and play the freezes to prevent it. But this was my point on when to play the hits, because as soon as John opens it up, depending, of course, where the rocks lie, but now a chance for Don Walchuk to make a big shot and get his team out of trouble, get rid of those yellow rocks.
Clean. Up. Tip.
Well, the red run back got rid of 2 red stones, but it left this here, so now you see them, now you don't.
I think he just knows it.
This one.
Okay.
For the nose. Just normal.
Shot rock is wide open, but they're going to run this back. There's a possible double this way.
Yeah.
Kind of wait.
Normal.
Normal.
Like to leave the shooter right out there.
Normal.
Just an exchange would be great. So even if your second shot, it's fine.
Off. Right off.
Clean. Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. Which turn you want to throw?
Out.
Okay.
With those 2 yellow rocks out in front, Morris is hoping to get something in behind, and Kevin wants to get there first. A little hit and flip behind with this Don Walchuk stone. And this has to be pretty precise. Roll too far and you leave a hit on the back one, the shot stone, and Morris can get in behind protection as well.
Board!
Donnie Walchuk playing third stones here in this fifth of a 1-1 tie.
Oh,
Always got to move.
And
Move.
like this. Hard, Kevin. Oh, you got, come on. No, come on, keep going, go.
And it will just hold on, it looks like. Is he surprised by that?
Yeah, he is.
Easy board.
It was a lot of ice because they're playing quiet weight, and then you're a little outside and it catches the track down the center. Just not quite enough to make it go away.
He didn't overthrow it. It just didn't come for him.
Heavy board. Board up.
Clean.
Whoa. Just a little up. Whoa, Paulie. Whoa.
Stop. Right off. Come on. Still finishing. Okay. Almost went the other way. Jeez.
Doubles there. He got out of a little bit of jam in the first end with a great double, and he has an opportunity here.
Give him all the up turns down the middle.
Martin in his first. Right now it's Morris line 2.
Stay close.
Rycroft can hear Bartlett. Stay close. Off of one. Across. Enough to move it, he does.
Didn't bruise it. It looked like it was going to be a little thin for a minute.
Yeah.
You heard Kevin say, I didn't bruise it.
Just enough.
When they made that first one, and Ray referred to it, Linda, about Don said, you know, those are the shots that Kevin's got to play.
Okay, let's go.
Suggests that the team hasn't been playing, despite their record, to Kevin's strengths.
I'm not sure about that. We were actually watching a little bit yesterday and thought Kevin was maybe going too many times to the big weight. But they need Kevin to make those doubles, because that wasn't as hard a shard as I'm referring to. They need him to make those kinds of doubles to be successful.
Switch. Hard now. Hard!
Still a good chance if you can get in behind this one.
Push it.
We're going to get that deuce.
Real hard.
Moffat and Kennedy with a big scrub to drag it to the top of the 8.
They would have liked a little more separation, taking it back to the 4-foot. Make it, because that is a Morris stone out in front. But Kevin would have to run back.
Go across the top of it, the jam's over there.
You hear the comment,
Pick
if you run it back across the top, you might jam it on the other side.
That's a problem. Shouldn't get anything there. Straight on the nose.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just hard to bury here, that's all. Maybe hard to bury, probably.
Here's the reference, Vic.
Think?
Don wants Kevin to play the double on the front stone, and Kevin wants to draw. So that's what they were referring to. Kevin needs to make the doubles at the right time, not go for the big weight shot when he doesn't need to. That's the disagreement they had yesterday.
Go to quarter.
Where?
Now he'll win out.
I'll see how much I can see of it.
I know the danger of running a Yellowstone and Morris Stone back. But wouldn't that, if you're Kevin Martin, that is his strength. The chances of him, and he's so good at, of him actually jamming that and not leaving it there. Would you not play the run back, Lynn?
That's what Don Bartlett just said to him. You know, I don't mind the run back.
If I was Kevin, boy, I'd still be curling if I had the Kevin Martin double.
Run back. You make that go right around. He's not playing that. He's drawn for one all day, forever and ever. Can't afford to give up the lead for no reason. You only want to go to the 4 foot.
It's a good point, Kevin. Yeah. But you could force him to blanket.
Well,
he's worried about jamming on the other side.
Back, obviously. I don't have a quarter rock room on the run back side. You can look about the run back, you put it right in the middle of the rock and fire it. It should sit right there. All three are certainly makeable. All three are tough. Yeah. Whatever you like, dude. The intern pick I'm not real happy with, just because of the center line. Yeah. It's tough. You don't think this will bury nicely? It's kind of a tough spot.
You can see what Kevin has in his mind. He wants to play the draw. But I really think the team is right in many ways. The run back is a strength. The draw is not easy to bury.
Line one.
Well, once it starts to go, it will bury for sure.
Right on the beat.
And I agree with Kevin. I don't think John Morris would take the chance of playing the double run back for 2.
That intern, I don't know if it's going to bury or not. It might.
Well, it's going to bury or not? Did you not just see one?
Both sides wondering. It'll bury for sure. We're just wondering if it'll bury behind a rock that is biting the 8 foot.
Clean throw here.
Yep. He's going to throw this up a little bit too. Nose hit will kill them both.
Hard. So throwing the PO.
Hard! Whoa! Whoa!
Trying to hit it pretty tight on the center.
Nice stuff.
Quite.
There he did. So there's was his fear.
You know, it's interesting though, Vic, because when you get to that place, when Kevin was down at the hack, so uncertain and so wanting to draw, it's hard. He really had to let go of the fact that he wanted to draw and make that shot. And I'm never sure that, I wasn't sure if he got into that hack believing that that was the right shot. And then it's tough to execute. It's a great chance. We talked about John Morris's ability to get deuces so far, and here's the easiest one he'll have all week. Just hit the paint.
Hard. Hard. Clean. Can't hurt it. Hard. Can't hurt it. Hard.
Like the time?
Time looks good.
Easy. Good shoot, guys.
Good boy, Johnny. Good shot.
Kennedy and Moffat. And they'll drag it to the pin for 2.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you by Tim Hortons Limited Canister and Mug.
So are we really going to do this? Stop for coffee, only Tim Hortons.
All the way to BC.
Only Tim?
All the way east. Nobody's done this before.
We've changed Cottonelle over the years. Now we're giving it a softer name. Cottonelle is changing its name to Cashmere.
Hurry! 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 Come on, hurry hard! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Hurry!
How is it that hundreds of millions of dollars go missing and no one's in jail?
Well, look who's in charge. I mean, these guys can't even tell the difference between right and wrong.
Okay, we've got a question.
It's like you get to Ottawa and no one can touch you. How will you change that?
You change the people in charge, but you also have to change the system. The first thing I'll do is pass the Federal Accountability Act. It's a real plan to clean up government.
Stand up for Canada.
Take on winter with Stanfield's Polar Therm, the ultimate winter underwear. Enter Stanfield's Beat the Freeze contest, brought to you by OLN and TSN. You could win a trip to Sun Peak Resort in British Columbia, courtesy of CAA Travel, or a Stanfield's prize pack. Hit tsn.ca/OLN to enter. Then test your skills for bonus entries. For every pair of Polar Therm underwear sold November 14th to December 11th, a donation will be made to Raising the Roof, a charity dedicated to long-term solutions to homelessness.
Wasn't many places you could go today without people talking about this game of last night. Brad Gushue, some wonderful shooting. Mark Nichols with some great shots, and this one really to close it out, as Gushue was a winner over Jeff Stoughton to keep himself tied with John Morris, top of the table at 5-1. His coach is Toby McDonald, who is a national champion himself, a Brier winner with Newfoundland in '76, and Jack McDuff's team, and Toby's with Kathy.
Toby, we've talked a lot this show about that great game last night. How did you bring the boys back down to earth after such a big game?
One of the things that the team is very good at focusing on is the individual task at hand. What happened last night, and of course the last time we played Jay Peachy, he managed to take away an opportunity for the boys to get to the Olympic trials a little earlier than they had to. And so it was pretty easy to focus. You know, Jay and his team are a great bunch of curlers. They wouldn't be here unless they were.
You look ahead to Martin and Morris. Tough road to hoe. How do you approach the final two games?
Haven't even thought of it. Really, seriously, haven't thought of it. Today is the game that we're thinking about. Those games are tomorrow.
Good luck with them.
Thank you.
We've reached the fifth end break. Morris with a 3-1 lead here at Halifax.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you in part by Scott Paper Limited, proud sponsor of curling for 25 years. By Ford, built for life in Canada. And by Strauss Herb Company, makers of the original Strauss Heart Drops, when only the best will do.
They're here!
Let's give Tyler's mom her gift.
I can do it! Come on, buddy, let's go! My mom says I say thanks.
For those who are always there for you, why not give a Tim Hortons canister, including 5 packets of their favorite coffee for only $10.49 plus tax? Or the mug, only $6.95 plus tax with 1 packet.
Purex Ultra, our thickest, softest Purex ever.
Strauss Herb Company, sponsor of the Strauss Canada Cup of Curling, is a family business with a full line of traditional natural products. Take it from me, Randy Furby, these products rock. They're available at health food stores near you.
Whatever the project, it's great to be working with the right tools. True Value's the best place to find those tools. Plus everyday answers for your everyday fix-ups. Come see us, and we'll help you get the job done right. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Y&M? A coworker recommended it. All right, people, we have a problem. It's 4 o'clock and I still have no idea what I'm making for dinner. I need answers. Sally? Tim? Anybody? M&M has tons of ideas. Complete meals. I have fewer meetings at work now.
The Hitachi Big Screen Blitz is on. Purchase any Hitachi television or LCD projector and receive an official NFL jacket with team logo of your choice. Plus, there's a 2-year warranty on selected plasma models. Hitachi. Inspire the next.
Coach Will is much more than just a hockey coach to my son and the rest of his team. He's a mentor, he's a friend. Each year, Will takes his team down to the local Walmart store. He donates the money, and the kids can go out and buy presents for those less fortunate.
It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, like you know that you're making somebody else's Christmas better.
Make your holiday even better with the Walmart gift card.
All our games have reached the midway point of this 7th draw of men's play, so let's get you up to date. Nothing but red in the house for Jeff Stoughton and his team from the Charleswood in Winnipeg. With a record of 4-2, they scored 3 in the second, and this is a chance for 3 more in the 5th before going to the break. And no mistake by Stoughton, the former Canadian and world champion, as he takes a 6-4 lead to the 6th over Glenn Howard. Right next door, Sean Adams and Pat Ryan. You see Pat Ryan holding the brush for Jim Cotter, who throws the 4th stone for this team from Kelowna. Ryan, one of those teams at 2 losses. Adams at 4 and trying to stay there. 4-1 as they play the 5th. Quiet tap. Come on over, they say. Move over, move over. And very nice for the single. 5-1 as they go to the break. Randy Furby and Mark Dacey. Mark Dacey got that 4 spot in the 4th. Dacey at 1-5, looking to play spoiler in this battle of Canadian champions. David Nedowin with the final stone, and picked up early by Huffin and Puffin. And this is the straight back raise. They'll get it, and the shooter just bites the top for a couple. 6-3 as they go to the 6th. And Peachy and Gushu, Jay Peachy, still looking for his first win out of Maple Ridge, BC against Brad Gushu. We just saw Toby McDonald, the coach. And this is Peachy in his final stone. And he's facing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Little rub and roll to steal of 1 for Gushu, and he leads it as they go to the 6th end of play. And so now you're up to date on this Wednesday afternoon in the Metro Center here in Halifax. In our featured game, John Morris with his deuce in 5 with a 3-1 lead over Kevin Martin playing the Redstones, and Martin has the hammer.
Board. Red board.
Well, that was a big 2 points, Linda, and well executed by the Morris team.
Whoa, little bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Little mistake by Don Walchuk, which you don't see very often on a hit.
So as we start this second half, let's check the numbers after 5. They're brought to you by Tim Hortons and the Limited Mug and Canister.
Ray, you pointed it out, really is the hits by the Martin team that we're so used to seeing in the 80, even 90% range. That's the big difference. 78% for Martin on hits, 90% for the Moores team on hits. And it is that nice execution last end, and the indecision by Kevin and his team on his last stone, which you and I were chatting about as we watched Martin try the little hit and roll. And I was just saying that on the team that I coach, we have a saying, there's no strategy at the hack. You go down to the end where the house is if you're going to talk. The problem is you've got the skip already ready in his mind to play the shot he wants, and now you've let him come all the way down, mentally preparing, and suddenly you're asking him to change.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Now, I'm very vocal. I work, I play lead, you know, on my seniors masters team, and you know, they know that I'm going to be involved in the strategy, etc. I like to get involved when I think it's necessary, or when I think I have a legitimate opinion of what should be done. But I can tell you, I agree with you, Linda. It's always done at the other end. Once the skip, whoever it is, comes down and they've made the decision of what they're going to play, that's it. And my job is to, at that point now, is to judge the brushing accordingly. You know, I would certainly be not telling the truth if I told you I wasn't involved in some of the decision making, because I am. I think it's you know, but not once the decision is made.
Hard. Kathy Gauthier.
Well, it's also interesting. I want to watch the human dynamics. You know, I love to watch people, which is why the study of the three of you is amazing. But I'm finding that yesterday when that happened, when there was a little bit of a disagreement between Don Walchuk and Kevin Martin, they did not talk to each other for the rest of the game. That is not what you need when you're struggling a little bit. So I'm going to take a look and see the dynamic, because sometimes after being together for a long time, as you know, Ray and Linda, those things can hurt you.
You know Ray and Linda? Is that what we are just the tightest knit group, Kathy.
One corner guard, that's what Kevin's trying to use to generate the extra point. Very nice execution.
Shot, Kevin.
Oh, what a good shot that is. It's just frozen. So they're just trying to exchange stones here now. Hit that stone right on the nose. Remove the back one.
Right on the nose.
Stay frozen to it.
Yep. Boards. Oh, yep.
Come on, Hart.
Keep up that line.
What's the line? Curl a bit. Curl a bit.
Well, it's quite a night. We'll begin with NHL on TSN, Calgary and the Devils in New Jersey. Coverage at 7:30, 4:30 Pacific, available in TSN HD. And then we'll be with you at 10:30 Eastern Time for the 8th draw of women's play, Nadaw and Lawton.
I said this the other night, Vic, I've really enjoyed it. My sons and I watch a lot of hockey, and boy, have I enjoyed the NHL. It's just, it's been great coverage, and also the games have been so interesting. It's just been terrific. The new game of hockey is just fantastic.
And I stand corrected. I said 10:30 tonight for draw 8. It's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock Eastern Time.
Oh, I would have been sleeping in.
That yellow's moving. I don't want to move it like back here too.
You guys like the nose?
Or just a hair high. I think a hair high might need it to jab it.
I think if you a hair high, you're gonna nut it. I think you'll nut it.
That's good.
Yeah.
They're frozen.
So the drag effect is what they're talking about now. They want to remove the red stone. That's the first job.
Real close.
But they're looking at where to hit the red stone so that they save 2 yellows in the rings and not leave Kevin a good chance to go around that corner.
Gotta make sure.
Nose.
Yeah, make sure we get rid of it.
They think they hit it a little bit on the high side, then it will jam perfectly on the back one.
The more on center line you hit it, the more straight back the second yellow goes. The more on the board side you hit the red, the more at an angle the other yellow goes. That's the calculation of the angles.
Off.
It's very thin, this one.
Wow, huge weight.
Sit.
Okay.
Chicken.
So no question with John's rocks all spilling that Kevin's got a wonderful opportunity to get around that corner.
Yeah, they wanted to jam it right back, keep the play in the 4-foot, but now an open draw for Don Walchuk to get buried behind this corner guard, the guard they put out in front. Hopefully to try and be able to utilize it. Now they've got a chance to do so.
Oof.
Put too far again.
Come out the other side.
We're here.
Hey. But a little too deep. You have to be in the top 8-foot.
For the fact, what, that you can get to the corner now and sit on top of it?
Yeah, you can just sit on top of it. You'll be shot rock. You'll be in behind the corner, and you'll have something behind you. It did come out the other side, but it'd be very dangerous to try and play it that way.
Remember, in the fourth end, John Morris made the angle freeze to force Kevin to just take the single point. Didn't give him a chance for the deuce. Try the same thing here.
7, 8. 7. Whoa. Room. 8, 8. Little heavy, little heavy. Whoa. 8. Whoa. 8 only. 8. Whoa.
Whoa, just the weight. Right on it. Look here, Mark. Look here. Light's fine. Light's fine. Light's fine.
We're there. We're there.
Line's fine.
Shot,
Very nice.
Boy, I tell you, he is executing. I mean, that's been just great execution, 2 ends in a row where he laid the angle freeze on. Keep in mind, too, that, you know, Nelly and Furby combination and Martin and Walchuk combination and Morris and Coe combination will have to play down in their province to see who gets to the Briar in Regina.
Yeah.
And then there are a number of other good teams in Alberta. This province is very strong.
Try to lock the corner on it.
Live look at the game between Sean Adams and Pat Ryan as they play in the 6th. 5-1, Ryan leading, and Adams getting ready for his final stone, facing a couple.
He's trying to play the thin double for 3, Vic.
Bringing those stones into play, which are around the edge of the 8-foot.
Freeze it. Line's real good.
1 and nothing, right through the hole.
Yep. Hard line.
And that becomes a steal of 2. 7-1, Ryan.
Okay. Line's good.
Yes, hard.
Hard.
Hard line. Hard guy.
Hard.
Hard, 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 hard. Hard. Oh.
Didn't get there, so it's still yellow. Flying 1.
Down the middle more, so it's heavier.
It is Martin with the hammer playing the red stones.
Linda, really, the difference has been that John Morris has just been drawing a little better than Kevin. And
so much point in getting another one in here.
Maybe the judgment of brushing, too. Today it's not something that happens normally, but...
Hey, I think that's a best shot. I like that.
I guess he doesn't really have a lot running in it, because this is going wrong.
Doesn't have much. He's got that. You might have the out turn, eh? Okay, let's go here. Conservative here.
Just or would you just guard it?
You know, he doesn't have to split.
There's nothing.
I'd hate to see it ever come up short here.
Well, that's why I throw a conservative.
I know, but
that's a real tough shot, man. No, I probably made it. It was a little easier.
It was a little easier.
We're talking about going to the other side.
You can make that. You throw it conservative, and then we go through. plays it for
what are
sure.
our options here?
I don't know if he plays it. I think like this is a real like that is.
It's overburied.
It's yeah. I don't think it's
502 inches.
I don't think it's there. I think we
Looking
just,
live at the game between Stoughton and Howard, and this will be the final stone for Glenn Howard as he's drawing against 3.
Klaus. I don't think he does. I don't think he has it. But like, if he tries it, I think our chances are better to steal than for him to get 2. Yeah, look, this is. I think we try to make his one tougher, because I really don't think that's there. And
6'5", Stout.
Like I don't think it's a smart shot to try that. Because you make that 10% of the time.
I just don't see why we would take the risk of it. He's gonna have an easy one no
So
matter where you put it.
where do you suggest?
I like throwing a 3 right here.
He's still gonna have the out turn draw. Or the in turn.
Okay, what do you want? You want to guard a shot that I really don't think is there?
Well, here's the other. Like, if you guard the
Should we call a timeout? Because we're taking a.
We're taking quite a bit of time.
Timeout.
What about? We might have no fear of playing the run back kick. If he can't hurt himself.
No fear. He knows that we steal 1. We could steal 2. We could steal 2. Our one's biting back there.
I'm saying we don't mind him drawing, taking 1, and being up 1 within 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Instead of some circuit shot that gets us in trouble.
Okay, so
he doesn't have anything off of this red.
But no.
Okay.
We heard John say, I want to play about a 3 out in front.
I don't think the out turn tab is there.
It's
Come
not
take a
even
look.
a tap. He can throw like board weight and pick it through there.
I don't even
It's
think
there,
that's
John. Like it's like Paul's shot yesterday.
But Paul can see this much.
Except he only has to throw board. Yeah.
Where do we throw a corner guard out here?
Let's just make sure let's just make sure there's no split.
With the intern.
Bank, right?
Yeah,
No, but if you either make him go wide or through a court, if he doesn't have that shot, I like that way better than going in the rings, Mark. If you go in the rings anywhere short.
Yeah, we're not going to go in.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We just draw here.
Yeah.
I throw it conservative. I turf it through, we're still good.
There was some talk about him being able to pick the one out of there.
Like, I know he's the bear, but we're giving him too much credit, I think, if we guard that.
But this doesn't really, what does this do? All this does is give us the chance of leaving him out.
Then he's drawing for 1, and it makes his draw tougher. And it also takes away any of those circuit shots you think he has.
But
I throw it conservatively, man. I throw it here, like, throw it, if it grinds, we go here. You know what I mean?
I like this or this, I think.
Well, what about this?
It just makes his.
If he hits it here, it's a.
I don't think he'll play that.
It's a long conversation based on a really tough situation for Kevin Martin. Again, the respect for Kevin and his ability to somehow get that Yellowstone out and score a multiple end.
And is that what this is all about? That respect?
Let's go here.
Sure it is.
Let's go here.
But John is definitely wanting to play a shot to give Kevin a draw. He doesn't think Kevin will try the big weight shot.
I think Kevin will try and pick it out if he gets a chance.
And that's why Kevin Cooey is standing there saying that he doesn't like John's call.
The chance of giving us a steal are way higher than the chance of making a deuce.
What do you want to do then?
You're taking an awful lot of time with the shot.
This?
I don't think that's doing anything. This.
Do you think Kevin has any chance you guard the pick?
We're wasting too much time.
I just hate to see it fudge up and like look like idiots.
Kevin doesn't want to draw to the other side in case they set up a doubles.
Right?
Okay. Okay, let's guard. Edge a button.
Okay.
It's interesting that this is similar to Kevin's position earlier, where John Morris really had a shot in mind,
So
Ray,
just 2, eh, Johnny?
and his team's talked him into the other.
Just 2.
Going to guard that. Try and take away the. I'll just clear that for a moment. Take away the pick, and also take away the run back.
Just over. It looks like a lot. 2.
Just a 1. We don't want to line up anything.
2.
Just a 1.
Slow, Paul.
2.
Not a curl.
Line's great.
2.
Line's real good.
Just clean.
Short of the red. Whoa.
Short of the red. Just
2.
clean.
Whoa.
Clean it, guys.
2. Whoa.
Just clean. Shot. Okay, John.
Wow. You really think that pick was there?
Yeah, I do. I think he could pick it, especially Kevin. It was a tough shot, but
this was a very low-risk way of playing this for John.
That was to make.
He knows Kevin was going to have a draw anyways.
Team happy shot.
Yeah, I think as John said, it's not going to hurt, so I'm going to play the one the team wants.
3-6 to still get there. Yep. Oh, I'm 14 and a half. Should be there. Where's the line?
Drawing for 1 piece of the 4 foot.
Line. Easy
That's
Carter,
what he
easy
needs.
Carter.
Kevin Martin with his
Right
last.
Keenest spot. Line's nice. Easy, easy. Easy. We're all there. We're all there.
All there and more. After all that, Kevin Martin gets his single. Morris has the lead and the hammer when we come back.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Sylvania.it. Where do you need lights?
Back to Halifax in a moment for more of the trials. Rod Smith back in the newsroom looking ahead to the early edition of Sports Center. Back on at 6:30 Eastern Time. In the NHL tonight, 5 games, including one Canadian team, the Calgary Flames, taking on the Devils in Jersey. You can watch it live on the NHL and TSN beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Meanwhile, baseball's winter meetings continue in Dallas. The Florida Marlins trading center fielder Juan Pierre to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for 3 young pitchers, including Sergio Mitre. The deal will go through pending physicals. And still with baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays re-signing Reed Johnson to a 1-year, $4.25 million contract today. Claude Fegg is in Dallas. He'll have the latest from the winter meetings on SportsCenter, 6:30 Eastern Time. Join us then.
A wide stance keeps you steady on your feet. So mounting the shocks outside the frame widen the stance of the Ford F-150. It's the first pickup to do this. Good luck knocking this off its feet. We keep thinking about tough because we want you to drive a Ford.
Scott Towels is changing its name to Sponge Towels. Why would they do that? Sponge Towels. That's a good idea.
Scott Towels is changing its name to Sponge Towels. Now with powerful little sponge pockets.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brewer which costs so much to brew and age. Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces the taste, the smoothness, and the drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. Bright, crisp, clean. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Hi, I'm Randy Furby. If your typical day is anything like mine, I recommend new Strauss Vitamind, a broad-spectrum dietary supplement for people with an active lifestyle. Strauss Vitamind is available at your local health product retailer.
TSN HD, redefining the image of sport. TSN HD is proudly presented by JVC. JVC, the HD technology leader.
After a little girl is mistakenly shot, doctors Pratt and Weaver desperately try to bring her back to life. Don't miss a new episode of ER. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
Gotta go. Gotta go for line, yes! Hard!
Lots of weight.
Room.
3-2 Morris as we go to the 7th. And Morris will have the hammer.
You know, that was an interesting discussion, Vic. I think the Morris team took way too long. It wasn't that complicated. You either think Kevin has a shot for 2 over on a pick side or not, and you kind of get on with it. But the really interesting part of the discussion, and we've talked about it several times, is John's interest in helping the team get to a place where they like the decision. We used to talk about John as being a little bit volatile, a little bit temperamental. I don't think in maybe those days he would have spent that time. He would have maybe said, I want this shot, I want this shot, I'm going to go play this shot. But he spent the time with the team to work through a decision, and he said, I want to make the team happy. And he is showing such maturity. And on top of that, add the terrific shot making.
Yeah, they really have, today they've just made everything perfectly. John in particular has made a couple of great freezes which have saved him points. Kevin had a chance to lay it down on top of it, just a little bit short.
A little less.
But
Line's good.
it took a long time to make that decision, but you're right. And then it was a team decision.
Kathy?
Well, I talked to John before the game about the big difference from the last Olympic trials in terms of attitude. And, you know, he said 4 years is a long time. He's spent a lot of time working with special needs kids. He's become a firefighter. Really felt that he's given his life a little bit of perspective. And Earl Morris is someone who is his father and a coach. But unlike a lot of people who have their parents as coaches, John's got Earl there because he gives him balance. And I think that one of the messages that he gave me is that he goes to him for also how to control his emotions on the ice and have a demeanor that is more suitable to winning, and it's certainly paying off in spades.
Good comments, Kathy, and I think you're absolutely right on.
Gotta go wait, Kevin. Okay.
He's just a different young man out there.
Line's excellent.
And that will pay dividends in this sport, because it is a sport that you need to control those emotions. You can't run up and hit somebody. A lot of times you sure like to.
Wise words from Ray.
Earl Morris to the booth, please.
Okay. What do we got? Right in the nose.
Nose is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
If you happen to hit it low and roll to a corner, it's all right.
Open nose. Firm. Peel. Whoa.
How good is that?
Shot.
Nice.
Shot, Mark.
Mentioned earlier Mark Kennedy, who works for Kevin Martin, so there goes the Rays.
Do you guys like coming around and bumping this a little bit? I like that a lot. Just bump it a little bit.
Carter Rycroft.
Back 12. Okay, clean. Yep.
Back
Yep.
12.
Still back 12. Whoa. Okay, whoa. Close. Clean, yep. Whoa. Back 8. Whoa. Oh, good shot. Oh, boy, nice shot. Great shot. Sandy. Yeah. Nice shot, Carter. Who shot?
We have our first final on this Wednesday afternoon. Pat Ryan keeps himself right in the mix as he goes to 5-2 with a win over Sean Adams. Adams drops to 2-5, and that will take him out of it.
Control up. Hurry.
You know, another interesting aspect of the matchups we watch, Vic, you talk about Mark Kennedy, and he's working for Kevin Martin as we watch him play this shot. Mark Kennedy's playing so well here. He also played for Carter Rycroft in junior play. So there's a lot of relationships here, but it was Mark Kennedy that I didn't know very well coming into this event. And he is shooting lights out, top second at 91%.
Tap that back a little. Just draw weight. Just tap it back.
So Pat Ryan opened up with 2. You see steals in 2 and 3. And then a steal of 2 and a steal of 1.
Tee line.
Sean Adams said that's enough. 8-1 the final.
Draw weight. Top 4. Okay. Maybe a little more.
Oh, lots of weight.
Clean. Maybe a little more. Whoa, then. Whoa. Whoa for heavy. Yeah, we're heavy. Clean. Off. Oh. Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, hard, hard. Beauty, Don. Nice shot.
Well, you can see what's happening a little bit. They're getting the rocks lined up so that any contact with that top red one onto that yellow.
Just a 4, Kev.
We'll get rid of both yellows.
Does running or do anything?
Stay on this angle.
Okay. Just a 4.
4.
This has been very much a game of those come-arounds. We've seen some play to the corners, but when they start going on these center line shots, we have seen such a series in a row. I mentioned it the last time we played this direction. When do you make a move? Well, right now, John Morris can't really make a move with big weight because the lineup is not in his favor.
They finish big time.
Hard line.
Here it comes now. He wants the outside angle. He wants it on the outside of the stone.
Shot. Try not to switch if you don't have to, okay?
Yeah, no, it was just, yeah.
I got you.
Got him in good position now. Get it right here.
The game story brought to you by the Strauss Herb Company. Trust the tradition.
Well, I think that 2 of the biggest stories are mentioned here, and that's the 4th end and the 6th end. Freezes by Morris. Tremendous shots to force singles from Kevin Martin, and we talked about it earlier, how John Morris is scoring well, but limiting the scoring so well. And that's such a key so far in this game, as John Morris has the slight advantage.
You're going to have to go on that.
Point and
Line's
the
good.
hammer at the moment.
Nope, a little bit. Top
These stones are sitting up pretty nicely at this point for
through.
Kevin Martin, however.
We can. We're all there.
Morris is shot rock. He's the back stone. We're going to try and get another stone in here.
Holy, well, just didn't curl. Good shot, Don. Nice shot.
It didn't finish for him.
We are. That's the shot.
On this here.
No idea why that wouldn't finish.
Top 4 right here.
If you had line, it should go right to the button.
Just going to freeze onto the face of it.
Well, this is where if you can get to the center line corner of that red stone, Kevin Martin can't really run anything back into that and end up with his stones in the right spot.
Yeah, you threw that really good. Beautiful weight. Just didn't finish at all.
Kevin Cooey.
Needs to get to the inside of this if he can.
Out there, though.
Line's good.
Whoa, then, Mark.
6. Hard for weight. Whoa, no bounce. 6. No bounce. Line's good, yep. Wow! Wow! Wait only.
Now, Don Walchuk's did not finish here.
No bounce.
This one looks like it's coming more, Linda.
Whoa!
Shot.
Wow.
That's a great shot.
Sweet, Mark. 87. Shot, Kev.
Wow, this is a tiny corner that Kevin's trying to hit to spill the 2 yellows. From the hack end, you can barely see that redstone peek out.
Put the picture back on. I was having a look. Thanks.
Kevin using the Jumbotron to line it up.
I got to move that yellow one. No choice. Thanks, guys.
No problem, Kevin.
There it is. Helping the curlers out a little bit with the angles.
So almost sideways. Catch them both.
No!
Yeah, you need big weight and catch the corner.
Whoa!
Got something. Got something? Not enough. Shot stone is now Morris. Now, is that shot available to Morris? Yellow into the crotch of those two reds.
No, I don't think so,
No?
Vic. If you watch where the stones line up, this does a bit of the job that Kevin wanted.
So the angle on that is
Look how thin that is. But he does get the red stones into a slightly better spot.
Well, that's why we'll have one right there.
Jeez.
The only thing we want to do.
You asked whether that pick was possible the last end, Victor?
Yeah, we could, sure.
It was there.
Board weight. I think we go board weight. Right? No, we won't. We won't with board weight. If I throw a missile, we would.
You could even throw like back line and.
No, we want to get rid of this 5. Just, get rid of this 5. I think doesn't hurt us.
I like half.
Well,
I don't think you want to stay high and put it right
yeah,
there.
because then
and
you got the
it's a
triple, right?
Getting
okay.
to the nose is key. How
Nose
much of
or,
that seven
nose or
do you see
inside?
Quite a bit.
Nose or inside.
They're worried where the shooter will be.
Yeah, just good hack though.
Okay, I think
don't want to baby it too much.
You can just see all, eh? So.
Okay, just hack then.
There.
Yeah, just hack.
Board on the nose.
Right on the nose, he wants to hit this
nose,
just with
if
hack
you could
weight.
wiggle in an inch would be real nice. No, we're just going to throw about hack.
This is one of those exhausting ends where you're lining up every single shot. Angles are so important.
Whoa!
Morrison his first.
Board! Heavy board!
Great.
Board up! Whoa! Board up! Hard!
Talk about a hack weight, not board.
They totally changed their mind trying to roll it away. There was too much weight and he was a little wide. Not a good combination.
They did not want to leave the shooter there, though.
Hey.
I don't know. If you play it with just...
He whack, get that out of there.
It's got the quiet tap, 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 tap.
Up here. Sit there.
Everything's just guarding.
Hey?
Or is referred to as the Gene Kelly, the tap, 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 tap.
Right now, I don't... He got lucky
Singing
with
in the
moving
rain.
that in.
Or just play the guard.
You put it here, he's got the tap then, right?
The tap, tap we're talking about is...
You got this tap into here, right? You'll never get it out, but that's desperation. We don't need to do that yet.
Well, they could get it out though, Don, because this 7's going to move over this way a little bit, the 2 over to here. This 4 is going to pop right to here.
Yeah.
And then he just whacks it in there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, can we go wide enough to get this guard? I think so.
Okay.
Or the guard.
If he runs that into it, what's going to happen? Will that top yellow one stay? The one that's going to hit the red? No. The red one's gone. Yeah. It's fine. Okay. That's nothing there. Okay, good.
Hold him to 1.
Make sure we stay out there about outside edge of 4. Yeah.
Just playing the guard. Just afraid if he moves him and all, he'll set it up for a big shot from John Morris to get multiple points.
They're also trying to leave the guard a little long because the Yellowstone top 4 could be moved up. The only way once this guard is on there is to move it up using this guard. So the farther away, the better.
It's fine.
Get over, curl.
As usual. High then. Oh.
We couldn't hit that.
Get some late finish. I think it's there. You can get back there.
You've got a point in the pocket.
If you graze the guard, though, and
you got to be
also
careful.
raise it, all we got to do is touch that, eh? I think that's easier.
It's like hit the guard on the nose. On this side. Hit the guard on the nose to go onto that red.
Okay, well, let's do this. If it's really busting.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hit the guard on the nose? Does our yellow go back onto the back red? Okay, let's not do that.
So what's the first plan here? To bump up the yellow for a possible shot, second shot?
No, it's just a drop.
So just draw and catch enough for the button for 2.
And if it's busting,
we need
curling too much, then we'll sweep it to touch the yellow up.
To bite the button.
Now remember, there was a draw earlier. The third end, John took a little bit too much ice in his attempt to get there. This has to really curl past the guard. Just catch the right piece of forward.
Final stone in 7.
Now, one on the third, and he threw there without the sweepers. I think the movement will be there if you can.
As Ray says, he has one in his pocket. This is for a possible deuce here in the 7th. Waiting for it. Needs to tap it far enough. He did. Look at that. Just tapped it enough. Have a look. You bet it is.
And that really did curl on the way in past the guard.
And that little bump just moved that red away enough.
Then a straight draw.
2 it is for the firefighter from Chestermere. Wanted to say hello to the fire hall just east of Calgary. He was supposed to work 12 hours today.
He is working.
Yes, absolutely. He's putting out fires here too.
Never stop enjoying life. Strauss Herb Company, bringing science and tradition together for a brighter future.
A robot can make a car. But this is how you can make it roar. A chip can control the engine. But this is how you can set it free. A manual says what a car might do. Now discover what it wants to do. Give it the edge. Give it Syntec. No leading oil provides more horsepower. For maximum power, great cars want more than just oil. Give them liquid engineering.
The People's Canadian Diamond. Uniquely cut with 100 facets for unending brilliance. Mined, cut, and polished exclusively for People's Jewelers in the Northwest Territories. Exclusively at People's, the Diamond Store.
Well, it used to be like before I even got around to watching a rental, I'd have to return it to avoid late fees. I swear, I rented the same movie 3 times. Still haven't seen it. Anyway, now I can take a little more time so I can actually watch my movies, which is sort of the point of renting, right?
Blockbuster makes renting better than ever. And with more copies, you're sure to get the movies you want and the time to enjoy them. See participating stores for complete details.
Why M&M? Well, they're just so helpful.
Yeah.
You know, unlike some places.
Excuse me, can you help me?
I have to go ask someone.
At M&M, they suggest things. They're not afraid to help.
Well, they're just not afraid.
The federal government tells us that Ottawa has billions of dollars in extra cash.
Well, they do. And it's because the Liberals have been overtaxing Canadians for 12 long years.
Here's Joan.
How about a tax cut that doesn't disappear after the election?
Working Canadians do need a tax cut that they can really see, a tax cut that they can count on. That's why I'll cut the GST from 7 to 6 to 5%.
Stand up for Canada.
TSN HD, redefining the image of sport. TSN HD is proudly presented by JVC. JVC, the HD technology leader.
And while we were away, the draw by Mark Dacey as he wins 9-4, and that will end it for Furby. Randy, as he drops to 5 losses, 9-4 the final. Dacey a winner, and Randy's with Kathy.
Randy, so much training, so much time into this event. Tell us about the emotions right now.
Oh, we're disappointed. You know, I'm not disappointed about today. We're disappointed more about the start of the week. It's a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, you know, I give full credit to the teams that we played. They've been playing outstanding, and today we're just kind of going through the motions and, you know, crowd watching a little bit and have a little bit of fun out there, and it didn't quite work out.
Tell us about the future of the Furby team.
Oh, the future is real good. I mean, obviously we're in the provincials for the playdowns in Alberta automatically, and this team's going to be together for quite a while, and hopefully we'll make another run at the Brier playdowns.
We look forward to seeing you back in the national field.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that then puts to rest any of the stories
Well,
and rumors.
it's like I said earlier. I mean, when they were winning, they were a classy team, and they're losing. I mean, they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken, but you got to move on. I sat with them this morning, and they were fantastic. They just said, hey, you know, I thought they would come out, you know, with a little bit more zip at that one end where David had the draw, and they stole 4 was the whole thing. They got himself in a little trouble. A couple of missed shots, and bang, bang, and you don't make the draw. And if they make that draw for 1 there, obviously it's a ball game, and they keep themselves alive. But not this week. Linda, you've had weeks like that. We've all had them like that.
Yeah, the hard part here is that everybody's trying to find a way to get here and be their best. And unfortunately, they had it happen before and didn't find the formula, whatever it may be. And other teams have played well against them, of course, but they just, in my opinion, have not been themselves. And there could be a lot of reasons for that, which I'm sure they'll examine a bit after the event is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing we do know, and we just talked about it, Randy Furby doesn't pull back the game plan when the team is struggling a bit. He just keeps putting the rocks in play, and if you're not getting execution, you are going to be in trouble.
Whoa, clean. Clean.
Well, we're going to see a lot of this obviously from John Morris, the feeling and hitting. And
that was a huge extra point where he did make the little tap that we said was going to be the bonus. He actually played the little tap and got the big swing and made it.
Well, his comment was great, too. He said, well, you know, it should break here. As you mentioned before, Linda, then the third end, he played a draw down there, and he just threw it there himself, so it didn't break. He gave that one a little bit to the brushers. He had the weight to be there for sure, but it did break, and so he got the fortunate rub on the front one that he said was an alternate, and got the extra point. And it is a big, big point. All the top front ends in the country or in the world can peel, and so to get a nose hit of some nature is usually just a stroke of luck. These guys can throw from the hip.
Throws, Mark.
2 great throws by Mark.
JPG Brad Gushu as they play in the 8th, and Gushu with his final stone. This is a little delicate shot. Has a chance for 2, maybe 3 if he can remove a stone at the back of the 8. See the 1 shot stone. He can get rid of that red, but he can't squeeze it. Loses the backing and settles for 1. Gushu up 6-4.
It's interesting to watch Kevin Martin. I've mentioned many times, I think teams make mistakes not moving guards around enough. Kevin is trying everything to get a mistake on these peels. He's moving the rock closer and closer to the boards. Sometimes you get a person being a little full and get fooled by the spot, but so far not the case for the Morris team.
It's part of the package that John has too. We talked about the maturity of the team. I mean, he had the run at the Brier. He's been in the trials before, so he's been the 2-time world junior champion. So those are the years you.
Oh, big.
You know the number of teams that players have come out of the AHL and the minors, for example, after a number of years of, you know, the learning experience, and that's what you're seeing here. You are seeing a bit of a youth movement in the game,
which I think is we've talked about this, is slower to happen in men's curling as compared to women's. Would you agree, Linda?
I think right now in women's play, we're seeing some amazing young teams come through. Last year at the Scott Tournament of Hearts, we certainly saw it, and here as well. And it could be a reason on the men's tour, the experience seems to be a huge factor, but now we're seeing the young men, John Morris in particular, come through with international junior experience, and it gives them a better chance once they leap into men's play. And he comes with a great team. That's the other part of it. It's sometimes hard for young people if they move away from their original teams. They have to rebuild. Well, John Morris did move and has built this team in Alberta to be a great one.
Line's good. Take it.
Well, Victor, while we have a little bit of a break here, I wanted to say something that I saw your terrific interview with Tony Stewart from Miami.
Homestead.
Yeah.
Right beside it. Right beside it.
Tremendous interview, Vic.
Thanks.
And you did a great job. I am a little disappointed because in that interview, it's the first time I've really been hurt by you. In that interview, you referred to, when you were talking to Mr. Stewart, you referred to the fact that like a lineman in football and like a goalkeeper in hockey, there's a whole team. And I would have thought, Vic, that knowing we were getting back together again and my feeling towards the leads in curling, that you may have used that.
Well, yes.
I mean, it's like the leads setting up, but, you know, like the pit crew that do the job.
Well, that was, I know. I, as we look live at the game between Stoughton and Howard, and thanks, nice segue. Thank you very much. Chance here, obviously, he's facing to Howard with his last one. I was trying to get him to keep talking, not say curling what?
By the way, it was a great interview. It was terrific.
Clean.
And he'll make the hit for the one, but Stoughton, Jeff Stoughton of the Charleston, Winnipeg, will have the hammer. And a 1-point lead as they play the ninth. As Kevin Martin,
another tough game,
throws here as he has the hammer in the eighth.
Good. Go for weight. Freeze it on.
I was quite impressed the other night. We were speaking with some friends of yours from Connecticut, and there really does seem, and they talk very optimistically about a growth of the game in the U.S., and particularly in the northern states.
Yeah, they think it needs to grow, of course. I think there's only 20 or 22,000 registered curlers in the USA, so for our game to move to another level, we have to get it to grow around the world. And Sally and Jeff McKenzie are very involved in the building of a curling hall in that area. So I think you're going to see that happen.
Is pretty good, hair high. Yeah.
They need more ice surfaces, and they need the game to be promoted. And there's going to be a lot more coverage, I believe, from the Olympics this year by the Americans. So.
And they did mention that that was a huge factor, that in a non-Olympic year they might get 20 people interested in trying curling for the first time. An Olympic year that goes to at least 120.
Normal.
Yep. And we spoke with Neil Marriott, who is down in Minneapolis in the Twin Cities. Morris drives it by, avoids a jam to lie to. He was saying that they've got at the club there, they've got draws at 11 and midnight. I mean, they've got so many people going, so that's a nice thing.
Better one miss and 9 maybe give up.
Still hasn't caught on, though, in Bristol, Tennessee. They're still into the stock car racing there, Ray, unfortunately. Maybe someday.
Nice shot by John to sit right there and force Kevin to make a double for this particular end. Pretty open end, but still good execution.
Looking to hold on to the hammer if he can.
It's got to curl a bit.
And he'll stuff it. Will it roll far enough? Walchuk in good position, but no. So it's going to be a steal of one for Morris here in the eighth. John Morris looking to remain among the leaders here at the Canadian Curling Trials.
My friends and I have been going to the same video store for years, and they are still charging us these crazy late fees. So I don't know, the second I heard that Blockbuster was going to give me a little more time, I was like, see ya, out of here, gone. It's been great. We're renting movies like crazy now. It's awesome.
Blockbuster makes renting better than ever. And with more copies, you're sure to get the movies you want and the time to enjoy them. See participating stores for complete details.
Why not speak up when everyone is listening? On Monday, January 23rd, vote.
Introducing Avery Sign Kits, the quick and easy way to make professional-looking posters, ground stakes, and banners. You get everything you need. 1. Easy-to-use design software. 2. Adhesive sign sheets you can print on your laser or inkjet printer. 3. Custom sign backing to place your sign sheets. Don't worry about mistakes. The sheets can be repositioned. Turn your desktop into a sign shop with Avery Sign Kits. Available where office supplies are sold. Visit averysigns.ca to get $10 off banner kits.
At True Value, we know places in Canada where kids are encouraged to throw rocks at houses, and we even like to give them a little help. That's why we applaud and support all the Canadians who coach, instruct, and organize events, from the grassroots amateur level all the way up to the national championships. True Value is proud to be the official hardware supplier to Curling's Season of Champions, and future champs too. True Value, around the corner from your house.
So are we really going to do this? Stop for coffee only Tim Hortons? All the way to BC.
Only Tim's?
All the way east.
Nobody's done this before.
We're getting late now in the 7th draw of men's play, and it is 6-4 Gushu ahead of Peachy as Brad Gushu looks to go to 6-1. It's over. Mark Daisy hands Randy Furby a 5th loss, which will eliminate him. 9-4 the final there. Both those former Canadian champions not in contention here in Halifax. Our feature game, of course, the steal of 1 by Morris, up 6-2 on Martin. And Pat Ryan, with an 8-1 win over Sean Adams, he moves to 5-2, very much part of the mix of these curling trials. And Pat, the former Canadian and world champion, is with Kathy.
Pat, another huge win this morning to keep you in the thick of things.
That's great. We're in just, I guess, where we'd want to be after starting off 2-2. We put 3 wins together, so we're getting in shape. We want to be here for the weekend for sure.
Tell us about the decision for you not to throw last rocks, but to actually call the game.
Oh, it was just, Jimmy's such a great shooter, and it happened a couple of years ago. I injured my back just for a couple days, and I dropped down, and he's quite comfortable throwing last rock. He's done that all his life, so it's quite enjoyable for me now. I just, I don't have to worry about those last rocks. I just have to worry about calling everything, and spreads the duties around a little bit, and it's working out very well. We got a great shooter there in Jim Cotter.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And in fact, that's become a discussion point here, Linda. Ray, we've seen it now. We see it there. We see it Furby, for example, with Nedouin. Pardon me, I went into pause for a second there. And now we see Gushu with Howard. In fact, do you see this becoming a trend, or is it just that that dynamic that works for certain teams?
Well, it does take, I think, in some, we've seen it in the past too, but there is so much to the game now in skipping, and sometimes I guess if you, to relieve yourself of some of that extra pressure by not having to call the shots and throw the last rock as well. I mean, we talked about this when we talked about football, Vic. I mean, how many coaches that call the plays for the quarterbacks, you know, and yes, there are some quarterbacks that call their own plays, but for everyone that does, there's more that don't. So it's something in this game as well, I think, that maybe become more of a trend.
And it works for some and not others. I actually tried it when Lindsay Sparks and I started playing together. We tried it once. I was the kind of person that really got a lot, Vic, about watching the stones come towards me and built my confidence in throwing last. And I found it hard to do it the other way. So I really think it may be a little individual, but for some, I think it's terrific to be able to split out those roles and have that confidence in somebody else calling the shot, and you just go down and throw it.
Well, it's certainly working for Pat Ryan, and it's certainly working for Brad Gushu. Their records are a pretty clear indication. We know it's worked very well for Randy Ferbey and David Netherwood. Not this particular week, but certainly there's no one in curling that has a better record than they do.
He was short of the rings, though.
You do have to look at the fact that you've just named Randy Ferbey, Pat Ryan, and Russ Howard as the three guys calling the shots, though, with three incredible skips, who anybody could get into the hack and feel confident throwing towards their broom.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good comment, Linda, because, you know, Pat Ryan, of course, a world champion in 1989, and Russ Howard, a world champion as well a couple of times, and it was 87, I think it was 87 was in Vancouver.
Try to peel this one, eh?
Yeah, and so you're going to you're putting quality people at the head, that's for sure. Randy Ferbey.
Now, just in case you're wondering, Kevin Martin is not making mistakes. He's actually trying to put two rocks, one behind the other, next to the boards to make these peels hard. It's not a mistake. They're not narrow on the broom.
Don't touch that one.
Now look at that. And he jammed it. Just a reminder, stay with us. Champions League soccer continues today. It's from Group D, Man United, Benfica. The winner there will likely move on to the knockout stage, and Man U, of course, with some wonderful talent, including Wayne Rooney. So that's Champions League soccer coming up on TSN.
Room, lots of room. Easy, whoa, easy guard. T-line. Gotta go. Okay, go ahead then. Go ahead. Go ahead. Line's good. Go ahead, hard. You got it. All the way.
These player comparisons are brought to you by Alexander Keith's. Those who like it a lot.
I started this game saying I thought Kevin Cooey this whole week, but in particular in this game, was key. And look at the shooting he is doing today. 94% to Don Walchuk's 83. So Kevin has been a big part of the story of this game.
Shoot, Kev.
Go, Kev.
Don's making some beautiful shots. You're talking about a tiny piece of the house he's trying to draw to get any protection behind those wide corners. And they're still picking them out.
Line's real good, just Pete. Weight's good. Okay, clean it. Easy, this one's a little tighter line. So. Shoot for the tee. Shoot for the tee. Hard, hard. There he is.
They got it buried. Unfortunately, it's not in the rings.
Yeah, and if he throws it there, then we...
I don't think you want to put it where he can corner
okay,
easily.
just toss it through.
I think we just turf it through. It's the only way we give them a deuce is if we throw a corner freezable, right? Yeah, exactly.
A lot of wisdom from this young man.
Yeah.
Don't need any more rocks in play, Vic.
No, they have complete control, so a rock anywhere is going to be a help to Kevin.
Yeah. Well, against John, you can lock it awful good, right?
Well, look at this. Jay Peachy has a chance to tie Brad Gushu. He's got one in the 4-foot, so this is a draw for 2 in a tie game. Peachy out of the Golden Ears Curling Club in Maple Ridge, BC.
And it was a miss on Brad Gushu's shot that left that one red right on the button.
There was some talk about trying to freeze it onto the face of the yellow stone, but you heard Kevin say against John, he can throw it so hard that we don't make it absolutely perfect. Even if we do, he may be able to squeeze it off of there. So they're still trying to duck it in behind this.
Yeah, go.
Line's real good.
Board, the stone's about 6 inches from the board.
Oh. Ah, too far.
Just a little too far. They could have angle frozen that on there.
See that had good line, eh?
Yeah.
Well, we said John Morris was hot, made 2 perfect freezes this game, and the numbers are proving it. 91% for John to Kevin Martin's 75, and unusual to see Kevin below 70% on his hits.
Good boy, John.
It has been the remarkable performance of John Morris that has really told the story today.
Shoot, Mud.
Because then we can, no offense, but we can afford to, these 2 games still might have a championship.
Yep. Okay, fine, fine.
Okay, take one.
And they will. They'll take one. So Kevin Martin decides
Take one.
he'll take his single in 9.
Take one.
And Morris will have the hammer, up by 3 in the 7th round of men's play. Quickly, let's go before we go to a break. Stoughton and Howard, and this is the final stone for Jeff Stoughton as he plays in the 9th. Again, we remind you, Stoughton with a record of 4-2. Glenn Howard at 3-3 and trying desperately to avoid falling back to 4 losses. History tells us in previous trials that 4 losses is too many. And now will the shooters stick around in time? Look at that. 2 biters. And that's a big now 9-6 lead for Stoughton.
It used to be you'd have this nice relaxing movie night, and the next morning, bam, you're freaking out trying to get the movie back on time. But now I get to take a little more time, so the returning part's cool. Although I still prefer the watching part.
Blockbuster makes renting better than ever. And with more copies, you're sure to get the movies you want and the time to enjoy them. See participating stores for complete details.
Winter doesn't have to be all hard work. Come to Sport Shack for great Columbia gear. No matter how you spend your winter, we've got you covered. Sport Shack, the power of sport.
We invented the game. We created our competitors. They imitated us. They learned from us. They built on what we knew. But it's time to remember who we are. It's time to stop letting others steal our game. It's not about taking off the gloves. It's about taking off the blinders. So when we have an edge, we're going to use it without apology.
When you change your attitude, that changes everything.
They're here.
Let's give Tyler's mom her gift.
I can do it.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
My mom says I say thanks.
For those who are always there for you, why not give a Tim Hortons canister, including 5 packets of their favorite coffee for only $10.49 plus tax. Or the mug, only $6.95 plus tax with 1 packet.
The key shot is brought to you by Cashmere. Now Cottonelle has an even softer name, Cashmere.
Well, you know, we talk about the big weight shot so much, but it is 2 freezes. First of all in the 4th end, and then again in 6 by John Morris that limit Kevin Martin to singles, and that has made the big difference in this game, Ray.
Yeah, he's made 2 of these, Linda, and it saved him points both times. This is an absolutely great freeze. He made one later on that saved another point, so.
Yeah, this is now the 6th end, a little bit closer to the 4-foot area. Same idea, you need a corner, and that way Kevin can't generate the extra point. Great control, the rushers are just looking at it, dusting it, it doesn't need much.
After he makes this freeze, Kevin Martin has a chance to come down and freeze on it, and he comes up short. And so, what a great freeze by John Morris. And then Kevin missed his freeze. So that's been the difference. And actually, oddly enough, as you mentioned, soft shots. We were last night against Jeff Stout, and we saw so many big running shots, you know, in the Gushu Jeff Stoughton game, where it was just those big shots that made the difference.
Oh, no, picked.
Oh, look at that. It caught something and went straight sideways.
That's when you know it's, maybe should have slept in or something.
How's your day going?
Yeah, how's your day going is right. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be buying any lottery tickets today.
Just wait, Mark.
Whoa.
Peel.
Hurry. 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 Right up, right up, right up.
Mark Kennedy. And he's going to leave his stone out as the corner.
Should be plenty of weight. Line's real good.
Sorry.
Well, it's a nice come around, but Morris can just peel them out and have a way to get rid of all the rocks and run them out. It's been a sort of a strange couple of ends because we did see those great soft shots, and now it is just the peeling game for Morris. But they're doing that very well.
Shots.
It's kind of odd to see Kevin Martin in this situation, because it's usually the reverse situation where he has the 1 or 2 point or 2 or 3 point lead and is peeling everything in sight. But John, with a couple of great freezes, as we mentioned earlier, I should say, has kind of reversed things here. Has complete control of this game.
Kevin
Line's
Martin
a bit tight.
will want to get things back on track, though. I said he had a tough game against Peachy, made an incredible shot for the win. Then last night lost to Glenn Howard, now not playing as well. We've talked about a bit of their frustration, some disagreements on strategy. So they'll have to do a little chatting tonight to see how they can regroup for the final day of round robin play.
Not making enough shots. Huh? Not making enough shots. Hill.
Now, I just overheard Kevin saying not making enough shots. Is he speaking about himself, or is he speaking about another game, do you think? That's it. There you go.
No, I think he's talking about the whole team, particularly himself.
Keep it going, man. Shoot him, Johnny Mo.
John Morris goes to 6-1, and Martin falls to 4-3. Make the final 6-3. Morris wins it. So we go on to the game between Jeff Stoughton and Glenn Howard. Here it's a 9-6 Stoughton lead, and Howard playing the Yellowstones with the hammer, but not much to work with.
Well, Jonathan Meade just got rid of 3 yellow rocks, 2 in the house and 1 in front.
Hard. Go, guys. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hard, 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 hard. Nice throw, Rich.
Well, it was a great run back by Jonathan Meade. He raised his own rock back and killed 2 that were in behind it, frozen in the back of the 12.
Yeah, right beside it then, John.
We haven't seen a lot of that game, but we watched Jeff Stoughton play last night, and he got beat by Brad Gushu, but it wasn't because they played badly. It was because the opposition made some huge shots at the right time. Jeff has quietly gone about keeping himself in contention, and that's the kind of team they are. You look up on the final day, and all of a sudden you see Stoughton's name, and that's
get the guards good.
What he does year in and year out on the tour.
Well, Stoughton lost his first game to Morris. That loss against Gushu, the Stoughton team curled 91%. So you can't really think you're too disappointed coming out of that game.
A chance to run Howard out of stones here. He'll have to go one more.
Nice. What? I don't know, maybe they'll get a pick.
Well, we've seen Rod Smith all afternoon with the updates for you, and he'll have a full edition of Sports Center coming your way at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Sports Center with Rod Smith.
Gets it over curled, eh? Thinking. No? You still got the guard, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, you can hear some voices looking around the building a bit, and that's going to happen more and more as the other games are so important to the standings.
Clean. Ball. Clean. Let's go, guys.
This would be a big loss for Howard, dropping him to 4 losses. So we're starting to see a little bit of separation now.
Okay, guys, let's clean this up.
Clean it up for a win.
Goes to Jeff Stout. His famous tuck delivery. And clean it up he did.
And that's it. 9-6 the final.
Go all the way, eh? There you go. Good luck, Gary. Go all the way. Thank you. Good luck, Gary. Stevie, good luck. All the way.
He goes to 5-2. Glenn Howard falls to 3-4, and will definitely need some help to stay alive.
Gary.
So there's just one game remaining in the 7th draw of men's play, and it's Jay Peachy looking to play spoiler here as he plays Brad Gushu at 5-1. Gushu starting the day tied with John Morris.
Well, this was the last stone. That was supposed to be the double by Brad Gushue. Barely got the one out, and that rock that's left behind is on the button, and Brad is going to be faced with that. Jay Peachy trying to put the cap on it right now.
Peachy still looking for his first win.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Out of the Golden Ears Curling Club in Maple Ridge, BC.
Wow. Off.
Doesn't want to come in too tight to set up the double. Needs it to finish big here. It's not going to. I think I'd be tempted to get it past it. He curled enough at the end to make it make the double difficult. It looked like it was going to stay out there for a minute and make it a cinch, but
Yeah. Yeah. Smager. Yep, speed's good.
Now it sounds like Russ Howard has gotten his voice back after losing it for most of the game last night. How difficult a shot is this?
Very. You can only see the pin. He has to come down with perfect weight and hopefully just rub the shot rock or stop right in front of it. Move it a couple inches maybe, or an inch for the victory.
And of course, as all curlers do, has the fists out, John Morris. If he just comes down, well, he knows, Morris, how big this is. He right now is all alone in first place at 6-1. If Gushue can make the shot and pick up the win, they would remain tied. If not, Gushue falls back to join Stoughton and Ryan at 5-2. Final stone is on his way.
Hardline.
And here he goes, picked up by Korab. Nichols. You can hear the crowd getting in it because he's become a bit of a favorite here. Needs the pin. Needs the pin. He's got it. What a draw.
What a shot. Great judgment of brushing by the brushers because Russ was giving them some focal, and they stayed with their judgment. Absolutely perfect.
As it brings the crowd to its feet here at the Metro Center in Halifax. Brad Gushue, Newfoundland and Labrador, the St. John's Curling Club. Wow. With John Morris watching.